You are looking live, David.
All right. It's very exciting.
That's not Wi-Fi. I feel like sometimes it's an indicator.
No, we're up.
Oh, good. Okay.
This is the damnedest thing. There it is. This is so crazy.
Am I going to need to do much off of that one?
No.
Okay.
Not a damn thing.
All right. Was it the Jokic's numbers last night?
Unbelievable. Jesus.
And they needed all of it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I heard he had a triple double in like 20 minutes one of these recent games.
Yes. Yeah, he played like 26 minutes and had a like 14, 13, 13. Morning, Robes. A belated Merry Christmas. Hey, Stumpy. Pious.
Here we go.
Can we get that door?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Final one of 2025. How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. A very Merry Christmas to you all. Hope you had a great holiday. And to you, Mark, as well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm stuffed. I've been eating for 2 straight days. And it has been fantastic.
Well, you've been eating your own cooking, though, right?
Exactly. That's why it's been fantastic.
Now, did it just start with cookies and move on to, the meat and potatoes, so to speak, or how did this start?
Well, I mean, it was a little bit of everything. I went a little over and above because over the, last weekend I made, Sunday gravy essentially for the daughter. So there's some spaghetti and meatballs around the house. Monday I made a short rib dinner, and then I took Tuesday off. Wednesday was our 7 fishes deal that we do on Christmas Eve.
Right.
Thursday was prime rib. And then Christmas morning, we also had when my dad was a kid, his mother would get, I think it was Provenzano's market. It may have been a different market. There's a couple of meat markets in my hometown, or used to be, where my grandmother would buy, they called them bockwurst. Here, they're like a Weisswurst. I don't know. Anyhow, it's a veal sausage that my grandma used to always serve on Christmas morning. And when my mother met my father, she was introduced to it. She liked it. So there's a place in Naples that has something similar, a great little German market. So we picked up the sausage. So we had the veal sausage on Christmas morning, and that went right into the prime rib for Christmas dinner. And in and around that, there were 6,000 cookies.
As I listen to you talk, I realized that you were in the joint in Goodfellas, and you were the one doing the cooking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to slice up that garlic with the razor blade so it melts in the pan, David. That's important.
That you were the one doing the cooking, and all of a sudden, all this different stuff kept showing up in the basement. And it was you saying, "Hey, I need this for the sauce, and if we're gonna do this, I need this, and I need this." And then all of a sudden, the stuff kept showing up.
It is funny that you bring up Goodfellas, and they had the lobsters in the can there. I don't know if you caught the story, but whether it was the mob or it was a different mob, but apparently like $400,000 of lobsters heading to Costco got hijacked. It was on its way to, I want to say, Illinois and maybe Wisconsin is where the Costco's were, where the lobsters were going, but the lobster truck was hijacked.
Oh boy.
Shrimp and lobsters, those move really fast. That's all I was thinking. I saw the story and I don't care. Okay, lobsters got ripped off. I'm doing Goodfellas in my head, right?
Totally.
Oh, lobster, those move quick.
Right.
So I'm like, yes, I mean, smart move by the crooks. If you're going to steal a Costco shipment, I'd go with the lobsters.
Yeah. I mean, you could have gone with the bananas and the tomatoes, but no, I'd go that as well. Outstanding. Miller and Moulton on this Football Friday. And did you watch any of it yesterday?
All right. Because I have two televisions in the living room, the football was on. I did watch the end of Broncos Chiefs because the game was interesting, despite the fact that the Chiefs were playing with an 8th-string quarterback.
Right.
The Broncos make a game with everybody. I mean, they don't
really do.
It doesn't matter who the hell it is. Raiders, Giants, Chiefs with a 3rd-string QB. The Broncos are going to play this sucker to the end. And Bo Nix is going to make a couple of good running plays, and eventually they're going to win. And that's kind of what happens now. I don't know what this means come postseason for the Denver Broncos when the competition goes up staggeringly.
Right.
But when they play against crap teams, they play really close games.
They keep
and
them in it.
Win them.
They do. You're right. The Raiders, the Giants, the Jets. Okay, now the Chiefs with the 6th-string quarterback there. Yeah, do they keep bad teams in games, don't they?
Absolutely. But I will say, Bo Nix with his legs is a problem.
Oh, yeah. Got to account for him. No doubt.
I mean, he's got wheels. The man can move. So he's a problem. And I don't care what defense they play come January. I think he will be a problem.
I get it. From a storyline standpoint, I think we all do. That, the Chiefs in a lost season, and it's their final home game, and one of their greatest players is likely retiring. So it was his final home game. I get it. Surefire Hall of Famer and Travis Kelce. But you know how with many players, when it's their swan song, I don't know about you, Mark, but I don't want to say I get emotional, but I can get slightly emotionally wrapped up in them, realizing that, it is coming to an end. And it will be very difficult to ever find anything in life that will create and give you the feeling that it has provided. I mean, John Montana even said that on our show in the very early days, in which he said, I have a beautiful wife and a great family. There's nothing like running out of that tunnel. There just isn't. Although, I don't know. Kelsey's got an amazing life going on right now. And maybe because of that, I just have great difficulty in getting emotionally wrapped up in the fact that Kelsey's career is coming to an end and it was his home finale. And, I don't know, because maybe also deep down, I thought he should have retired after last year when he averaged 7.7 yards a catch. I don't know, but I'm having trouble getting emotionally, invested in Travis Kelce's swan song.
Well, it's because he's carried everywhere in life. Mahomes carries him on the field. His brother carries him on the podcast. And now Taylor carries him for the rest of life. I mean,
are you saying he's one of the all-time great caddies?
yes. If you watch any part of that podcast, who's the star of the podcast? It's Jason Kelce.
Right.
It ain't close. Jason Kelce's the star of that podcast.
What?
In his marriage, in his soon-to-be marriage,
Right.
who's the star of that relationship?
Well, she'd be the star in just about every relationship.
Fair enough, but she's the star in that one,
All right.
and he needs Mahomes. So, I mean, he's a caddy. He's a caddy, David. He's a really good caddy.
Yeah, arguably a great caddy.
He's Stevie with Tiger the first time through there before the 9-iron to the car. I mean,
Right. No, that's okay. All right. I don't know. He seems to have contributed a little more than Stevie. I mean, I feel as if Travis has actually had the 4-iron in his hand, from 215 over water, pin tucked. But okay. All right. I will throw this out there that I believe that Travis will contribute more to the podcast coming up very soon. I think he holds back because he's still active.
Oh, that could be, but I just mean, look at when we do this show, while you come out of break, you kind of run the show. I'm here to interject. I think when we do interviews, we're very equal. There are other things that I think you're better at. You may think I'm better at some things. I'm much better behind the scenes. And by much better, this show would never get on the air if David were in charge. But when the lights come on, we need one David Moulton. It's very important. The show's far better when David's here than when he's not. I just feel as the two of them, and Jason's already transitioned into a decent studio host. I don't know if Travis, he's goofball, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It seems like a lot of fun. I'd love to go drinking with both of them, with either of them. Totally. They seem like they're a lot of fun.
Yes.
I think Jason's better on air. Now, you may be right. When Travis is done, maybe he will be.
Yeah, that I think we'll get more out of him coming up shortly.
But right now, I mean, he plays second fiddle in life. I mean, just get used to it, Trav. Play second fiddle to your wife, to your brother, and to your quarterback. I don't know what to tell you.
I'll tell you what.
The odds are his mother's favorite's Jason. You guys are first ballot Hall of Fame, and I am just going to say first ballot Hall of Fame. Okay, everybody, I'm having a little fun. I had the meat sweats yesterday. Okay, it was maybe the third piece of prime rib I had, and right now, I mean, maybe I just need a movement. I don't know,
emotional or otherwise. But
exactly.
I was going to say you can't find 5 guys in his position all the time who were ever better, but
maybe 3. Right. I mean,
and you may be right about everything you're saying, even though you're doing it tongue in cheek and you're having a lot of fun. I mean, but he's also playing with a guy who's probably going to go down as one of the 5 best to ever play his position. And well, she's about as big a star as you can get on the star factor. So
right. I mean, she's then she just threw out like $1 million at Christmas to whether it was homeless or people that need. I mean, here's $1 million, and Travis like, I'll do my podcast. I mean,
right. Hey guys.
Hey, Jason, what are we going to talk about today? Guess who I'm dating, huh? Hey, I made her a friendship bracelet. That was cute.
First ballot Hall of Famer. Uh,
And I'm
uh,
treating like Gardner Minshew.
I was gonna
Miller and
say.
Moulton on a football Friday. Pat Kirwan will join us to talk all things NFL at 8 a.m. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for details.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Go to audition, and then he and I can.
But you have to wait till after.
We have to wait till after the local breaks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's starting to come back a little bit.
Right.
I know a few things have changed. You ever hear from that kid that was between me and Trent? I forget his name already.
Oh, Felipe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I talked to
Okay.
Felipe. Yeah, he's
Okay.
in Miami. Is he working for David? Is he working for Univision? Is that who he's working for there?
I didn't think so. I thought he was working for one of the affiliates, unless he switched jobs.
Oh,
But
no.
I thought the original job was with like the NBC station.
Okay. I guess he's. I thought.
Now they may also own Univision, but
He works for a TV station over there's cameraman.
Oh, okay. I know he was doing me. for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah. So that's his gig there.
Okay.
He's a big hoop fan. I always talk to him during.
Oh, NBA. Yeah, he loves that shit.
Loves it.
Yeah.
I did not see much of the half times of NBA stuff. I had the games on, but I wasn't paying any attention. I did see a clip this morning that Shaq got everybody Christmas presents. And Chuck's going nuts because he gave him shoes that he sponsors the shoes. He goes, they ain't presents if you don't pay for them. And so he gives Kenny 2 pair of shoes, and he sends Chuck over. These are nice. I like these. And Chuck goes, and Shaq looks at him and goes, I stole them out of your locker.
There's a video going around this morning. Did Shaq run through their video board on set?
I did not see that.
So I don't know if that's new or old or what, but
you know, James, and Sonny, I'm wondering if we have to agree with you. If this was just another, 3-year Lions run, and they're right back to being the Lions again. I don't disagree. I would not be surprised.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
The final one of 2025. Thanks so much for being with us. So there were 3 NFL games yesterday and 5 NBA games. Don't know how many of them y'all took in. The football games did not have a ton of meaning. I mean, the first one had no meaning outside of draft position. The second one had one team clinging to the possibility of making the playoffs, and by the end of the game, they had no chance of making the playoffs. And the third game had a team that is playing for seeding. Because even if they lost the game, they could win the division with a win next week. But they're currently the 1 seed, and obviously if they keep on winning, they will be the 1 seed. So there was not a ton of football meaning, and obviously how much meaning does a regular season NBA game have with 3.5 months left in the regular season, even though some of the games were terrific. In one instance, the post game was terrific. JJ Redick absolutely destroying his team post game. Check that out. That's 3-4 minutes worth of your time. But Mark, here's reality. And I know week 17 has already begun, but essentially we have 2 games left in the regular season. And there were 7 teams in the NFL, 7, who last year won 12 or more games. I'm not talking about winning 10 games. I'm not even including the Packers, who last year went 11-6. I'm talking about teams that won 12 or more games last year. There were 7 of them. 4 of the 7 are already eliminated from the playoffs. And of the 3 other teams that won 12 or more games from last year, one of them is the Ravens, who are hanging on for dear life and may only be playoff eligible for another 36 hours. I mean, I know this has happened before. I think this is the 6th time, Mark, that the 1 seeds from the year before both don't make the playoffs the very next year. I think it's the 6th time this century that it's happened. There's no sense going back to the years and the teams and what have you. But, you can have turnover in this league. We all know that. But this is more than just that. That's 2 teams. And by the way, if you think about it last year, who were the 1 seeds? They were the 15-2 Chiefs and the 15-2 Lions, who both may finish below 500 this year at the rate Detroit's going. But 4 of the 7 already eliminated. Those 4 are Kansas City, Detroit, Minnesota, Washington. And Baltimore, in all likelihood, ain't making the playoffs. They got to beat Green Bay on the road tomorrow night, and they ain't going to have Lamar Jackson. So I don't like their chances. How about you?
No, I'm with you, David. And we have for at least a decade on this show told you every single September that there are going to be at least 4 new playoff teams and probably 5.
Right.
Even with that being said.
Right. That's just playoff teams.
Right. If we were to tell you all these teams, 2 went to the championship game last year. Another one was a 1 seed, that they're all missing the playoffs. It would have been tough to get people to believe that. And that's indeed what happened. That some of the best teams in the league fell right off of the map.
So the 2 teams, by the way, who won 12 or more games from a year ago, who are backing it up, so to speak, the Bills and the Eagles. And that was damn near the Super Bowl last year. But the Bills and the Eagles have kept on, keep it on, if you will. And the other 5, 4 of them were officially eliminated, and 1's about to be. So even in a league, Mark, in which we talk about you can go from worst to first quickly, sometimes in a year. Didn't the South, the NFC East, the NFC South have both had runs here in the last 15 years? The South had it seemingly like every year for 8 years, where it was just like, well, pick who finished last year. They're going to win the division.
Right.
That happened in the 2010s, seemingly. It was just like, well, pick whoever finished last, pick them to win it.
Well, and if Carolina holds on, it'll happen again this year.
Right, because they finished tied for last. I think
exactly.
By tiebreaker, I think they were placed 3rd. But yeah,
but point.
Right.
From a record standpoint.
Yeah. So I just find that, and also, I don't know, maybe this has been the case in recent years, and it just doesn't seem that way to me. But, Mark, let's just assume the Ravens lose tomorrow night. 12 of the 14 playoff spots will be assured. Now, we're arguing over seeding, but there'll only be 2 playoff spots, and that's with most of the second to last weekend still to play, and obviously all of the final weekend still to play. But if the Ravens lose tomorrow night in Green Bay, well, you got 6 of the AFC playoff teams that are already locked in.
Yeah, we'll have Chargers and Broncos for the division if the Chargers win.
Right. If the Chargers win, then yes, they'll play Denver for the AFC West Week 18.
And then Bucs-Panthers very well could be for the NFC South. We shall see.
Right. But, the 2 playoff spots left are essentially final playoff team in the AFC, because the Colts are still mathematically alive for now. And then we got to figure out the NFC South. But otherwise, very quickly, you got Bills, Patriots. If the Ravens lose, you got Steelers. All right. You got Chargers, Broncos. And then you already have Jags. And the Texans are 2 up with 2 to play on the Colts. And in the NFC, you can quickly go through it. Chicago and Green Bay are both in. Philly's in. And you got 3 teams in the West: Seattle, LA, and San Fran that are all in. So,
Which-
this has
which
been.
puts me in a personal dilemma, David.
Why is that?
Well, as you well know, my wife and I are Steelers season ticket holders.
Right.
If this happens, that means the Steelers will have won the division and be hosting a playoff game.
Oh, that's right.
Will anybody want to buy tickets for said playoff game, or are we taking a bath on playoff tickets?
No, I think you'll be okay.
I mean, I'd just look to break even on this game.
Now, I will say, I think it would be better for you if the Bills were the 5 seed than the Chargers or
Because
Broncos.
Bills fans will buy them.
Yes, 'cause
exactly.
Bills fans will show up.
No doubt. No doubt.
I think you'll do well if the Bills are the 5. But yeah, if it's the Chargers, especially.
They don't go to their own games. It's not like they'd travel to Pittsburgh to see their team play there if they actually have fans.
Right. So there you have it. So 11 of the 14 playoff teams already established, and it's probably going to be 12 out of the 14 by tomorrow night.
And then the Colts are in a must-win situation, and their chances are bleak at best.
So anyway, in a year of turnover, if you will, it also could be a year which has had plenty of drama, but may not end with a lot of drama.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
This December, watch the nation's best high school basketball players compete in the City of Palms Classic. Fort Myers will once again welcome future college and NBA stars as they square off at Suncoast Arena from December 18th through the 23rd. Come see Southwest Florida's own Bishop Verreau versus Barron Collier on Sunday night, December 21st. For tournament information, please visit cityofpalmsclassic.com. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yeah, I would think, but me, I don't mean, I feel fucking great.
Yeah.
It's not even, it's, that's the strange part. It's like,
Yeah.
otherwise you wouldn't, other than what's going on. but-
Yeah. So
David, I know it's a haul for you to the daughter's place, but did you, I would think the wife would have wanted to, but maybe not. Did you run over Christmas morning to see the little one ripping things open?
No. They FaceTimed us.
Okay.
and I slept through it, and my wife watched for like an hour. So did my mother. Okay. And I will say this Christmas felt like it was at least a full notch, if not 2 notches higher than the previous ones.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
she's
she's 5 weeks shy of 4.
I was gonna say she's almost 4, so she's
Yeah,
she's
this
got,
is-
she's got that's
Yeah.
go time for a kid.
Oh yeah, this is
You're still a little scared and fearful of Santa. You the whole thing, and
totally. She, got everything done Christmas Eve night. She got to bed, got to sleep. Oh yeah, because Santa was coming. Tracking him all day. Oh yeah. I'll never forget. Our daughter was like 4.5, and we were spending Christmas in Jersey. And we said to her, it was like 7:30 at night. Maybe no, it was probably a little later than that, because my mom had a traditional Christmas Eve party at a friend's house that we would go to because she always went to it. And both my grandparents were still alive, and so they drove us home. And maybe we got home close to 9 o'clock even, and we were like, Santa's in Philly. And my daughter knew where that was because we had been. And she's racing up the stairs at my mom's house, like lobster racing, all 4 hands. I gotta go. Santa's in Philly. I gotta go to bed. Okay. But oh yeah, the carrots, a carrot for each reindeer was left out of the front, and then cookies in the back for Santa, and a note. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hog crazy this year. Yeah, Feeney, 1070 for whatever reason, and they love us. And I mean love us. But technologically they have some issues where sometimes they're just not carrying the show. They're Yeah, Green Bay has to win their final 2. Chicago has to lose their final 2. Chicago's at San Fran and home for Detroit.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Pat Kirwan will join us a little more than an hour here on Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Final Football Friday of 2025. But now it's time for
The Starting 5. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is The Starting 5.
The Starting 5, brought to you by Lee County, Florida. Building a better community through BST, baby. Business, sports, and tourism. 3 NFL games on Christmas. Remember when it was just 5-6 years ago where they experimented? They gave us the Saints and the Vikings on Christmas Day in like 2019 and said, I wonder if anybody will be interested in this.
Think about that. That was the Kamara, 5-6 touchdown game?
6 touchdown
Game with the shoes and all
Yep.
that. No, in all seriousness, though, if that game's a dud, if that game's 14-10, or you know what I mean, or it's a blowout of some way. But I think the fact that people like the Saints, they're a lovable loser team. I know Tampa doesn't. I get NFC South. But there aren't people across the country that hate the Saints. Not a team that people typically hate. Kamara has a monster game. No one really has a problem with the Saints. If that game's a dud, you wonder what happens with Christmas. But we get a superstar performance on Christmas that seemingly everybody watched, and the NFL went, damn, we might have something here.
And they did the game because Fox still had Thursday Night Football, and Christmas was Christmas a Wednesday, Friday that year? I don't know. Anyway,
it wasn't a Wednesday. I do know that. It may have been a Friday.
Yeah, Thursday or Friday, but the NFL was kind of like, we're kind of contractually obligated to give Fox a Thursday night game. We don't want to give them a refund. How about we just put a Vikings Saints game out there? Remember, it was still Drew Brees and the Saints. The Vikings, not that long before, had gone to the NFC title game. Anyway, so we had a triple header yesterday. Cowboys, they dominated the Commanders, even though the score didn't reflect it. 30-23 Dallas. They had 480 yards of offense. They ran 87 plays to the Commanders' 41. Dak with 307. I'm sorry, what?
That's tough to do.
It really is.
The National Football League to have over twice the plays of your opponent. I get it in a bad college game with one dominant team against a lousy team, but in the NFL to have over 2 times the number of offensive plays, you'd have to go through a whole season to see numbers like that.
And have the final score only be 7-point difference. 30-23, Cowboys trying to finish at 500. They're 7-8-1. Commanders, man, what a 3-year journey they've been on, huh? 2023, what they win 3 games? Have the second overall pick of the draft. Last year they won 12, went to the NFC title game. This year they're 4-12 heading into the finale. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, however, I think they call him Bob. 11 carries, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Dallas over Washington 30-23. Detroit needed to win to stay alive in the playoffs. They lost. Even though the Vikings had 161 total yards of offense, because they committed six turnovers. Wow. Vikings have won 4 in a row here. They've turned 4-8 and 8-8. Remember when the Bengals were 4-8 last year, finished 9-8? Vikings threatening to do the same thing. Vikings eliminated the Lions in the playoffs 23-10. Both teams are 8-8. Mark, the Lions are probably going to finish last.
Well, hopefully they can lose next week to the Bears and somehow pick around 13 with the last place schedule, and all of you can pick Detroit as one of your new teams making the playoffs in 2026.
And then the Chiefs, final home game of the season, taking on the Broncos. Denver, not quite the domination of Dallas over Washington, but Mark, the Broncos ran 71 plays and KC only ran 42. And KC had the ball last, basically, because Denver just took a couple knees. Broncos scored a touchdown with under 2 minutes to go to beat the Chiefs 20-13, their first win in Kansas City in 10 years. Last time they won at Arrowhead, they won the Super Bowl.
Ooh, look at that.
2015 with Peyton, yeah.
And I will say, I mean, Denver's performance, the Chiefs' performance, rather, it pales in comparison to what the Vikings did in their win, because the Vikings faced, sacks and whatever. Do you know what their passing yards were?
The Chiefs?
The Vikings.
Wasn't it like 60?
3. No. 3. Their passing yards, their net passing yards were 3.
Net passing yards.
Yeah,
okay.
But that's how they put it, 3.
All right, 3. Yeah.
3.
And they won.
3. And they won.
And they won. Right. So Denver's 13-3. They're the 1 seed. They'll clinch the West if the Chargers lose at home to Houston. But if the Chargers win, then week 18, Chargers at Broncos for the AFC West title, possibly for the 1 seed. We'll see how it plays out. Other NFL news, Jags lose cornerback Jordan Lewis, foot injury against Denver. He's out for the year. Chiefs, before their game against the Broncos, placed Rashee Rice and Trent McDuffie and 2 others on the IR. TJ Watt limited in his first practice in 2 weeks since that lung injury, which I guess he didn't happen on the field. It happened off the field. He was like given an injection and they punctured his lung.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got that right.
Yeah.
I mean, it is interesting when you say his chest injury. He had a punctured lung.
Right. No, I said lung injury, but you think injury, right? You think, I don't know, somebody took a head to the chest. No, it was a needle to the lung. So he hasn't practiced in 2 weeks, limited in practice yesterday. I would not expect him to play this Sunday. And I think he definitely doesn't play this Sunday if the Ravens lose tomorrow night, because then the Steelers will have clinched the division. And speaking of the Ravens tomorrow night, Lamar Jackson missed another practice yesterday. He's doubtful for tomorrow night's game in Green Bay. Baltimore must win to stay mathematically alive for the playoffs. If Green Bay wins, then, they still have a chance to finish first in the North. They need to win their last 2 and have the Bears lose their last 2. Chicago in San Francisco on Sunday. 5 NBA games started with the Knicks rallying from 17 down in the 4th to beat the Cavs. We've been saying it. Something's wrong in Cleveland.
Boy, and they blew that one yesterday. I mean, that was a game, you're talking about things, big changes there. I'm like, maybe they are getting over the hump. I've got the game on. I'm paying half attention. And then all of a sudden, here come the Knicks in the 4th quarter. And I went, I don't think people should get fired on Christmas, but the 26th, Boxing Day in Canada, look out in Cleveland.
OKC, they're the best team in the league. But we found their kryptonite.
Yeah, it's San Antonio.
The Spurs beat the Thunder for the 3rd time in 2 weeks. Going into OKC and whooping them 117-102.
He's not even playing a lot right now, but this Wemby guy, he's a bit of a problem for other teams trying to get to the lane. OKC didn't attempt to shoot in the paint when Wemby was in the game.
Well, and I don't know if you saw the video, but to me, it looked like OKC tried to take him out of the game, and I mean physically. Did you see that? That was like in football when you high-low a defensive lineman, okay? Holmgren, I think it was engaged with Wemby, okay? And all of a sudden, the OKC player comes from the side and hits Wemby low and knocks him to the ground. I mean, seriously, it's the type of stuff you see in football.
David, if that would have happened on ice, somebody would have beaten the snot out of a couple of OKC players. That was that. Even if you don't think it was dirty, and I guess I watched too many TikTok videos over the weekend, but I was watching an old Avs game when they took a shot at Yzerman, or I might have been a Blues game. But you went at Yzerman. who came at you? Bob Probert.
Right.
That's just the way that it worked. You didn't touch him. And we can go through all this stuff, McSorley with Gretz and on and on and on. That was, I don't even know if it was borderline dirty, David.
Oh, no, it was dirty and it was intentional. And San Antonio, OKC, it's on. It's on. And Wemby, Holmgren missed a free throw later on in the game. And Wemby loudly claps and goes, yeah, oh, yeah, it's on. Good. The league needs it.
Well, yeah, because come on, it's San Antonio and OKC. There aren't a lot of people that get fired up about these franchises outside of the areas that they're in. And SGA's a great player. He is. But it's a style that everybody doesn't like.
No.
They're a tough watch. They're really good. So, yeah, this is good for the league. Very good
It
for
is.
the league.
Steph with 23. Golden State beat Dallas 126-116. You can hand Cooper Flagg the rookie of the year right now if he stays healthy. He had 27, coming off a 42-point game late last week, or earlier in the week, I should say. Houston shot 53%, out-rebounded the Lakers by 23, and beat them in L.A. 119-96. And J.J. Redick eviscerated half his team after the game and said, the next couple days are not going to be pleasant. Good. I like it. Anthony Edwards had 44, and he was far and away the second best player on the court because Jokic in overtime had 56 points, 16 rebounds, 15 assists. That's right, a 55, 15, and 15 game, first one in the history of the league.
It's a good week for most guys.
Yeah. Denver in overtime over the T-Wolves, 142-138. Nuggets did lose Cam Johnson earlier in the week to a knee injury. They say he'll miss 6 weeks. Steve Kerr, by the way, in his confrontation with Draymond Green on Monday, called it not my finest hour. He said they both ended up apologizing to each other and the team. We'll see what happens there. College football, Florida State quarterback Thomas Castellanos declared for the NFL draft. There are 3 bowl games today, all of them on the 4-letter network. The Sports Bowl, Central Michigan Northwestern at 1. The Rate Bowl, New Mexico, Minnesota at 4:30. And the First Responder Bowl, FIU and UTSA at 8 o'clock. Did you hear about Baylor's big college basketball signing over the holiday?
What an absolute joke.
So,
What the hell is going on?
well, here's what's going on. The NCAA has decided that, well, if you haven't played in the NBA, basically you still have college eligibility left. 21-year-old James Nagy, who was a second-round pick 3 years ago. He was
picked 31.
Right. He was the first pick of the second round. He was included in the Karl Anthony Towns trade from the T-Wolves to the Knicks. Okay. But the NCAA says he has 4 years of eligibility still remaining because while he played 2 years of pro ball, it was in Europe, and that doesn't count. Oh, really?
So mid-season transfers are eligible to play, and this guy's going to play even though he was playing European pro ball, wait for it, last week.
And he was drafted. And hell, he was traded in the NBA. Unreal. Listen, we're all in favor, Miller and Moulton, and a lot of things going on. This is bat blank nuts. This has to be fixed. This is a joke. By the way, the Pirates signed Ryan O'Hearn, their second all-star that they've signed during this offseason. 2 years, $29 million, which in Pittsburgh might as well be $1 billion. And the Marlins signed former Rays closer Pete Fairbanks to 1 year, $13 million. Remember, the Rays didn't want to pay him $11. We said they should have signed him and traded him.
I'm stunned he got 13 based on injuries and things of that like that he got more than what the arbitration was with the Rays.
That was the starting 5 brought to you by Lee County, Florida, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell them Miller and Moulton sent you.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience, and With a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
I love the week after Christmas. The energy just feels right.
The rush is over. The new year is coming. Maybe it's time to treat yourself.
Jason and I are in the store every day, ready to make a deal with you.
Overstocks up to 50% off. Maybe you got Christmas money. Maybe not exactly what you hoped for.
Or maybe a New Year proposal is in your heart.
New year, new you. Do it at the Diamond District. Hablamos Espanol.
Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
A bedroom set.
Okay.
Singing into a brush in her
Oh,
little
wow.
underwear, and she had a little tank that said "Live from New York," and on the butt of her underwear it said "It's Saturday night."
I mean, because I like that some of
Canada Relief, as somebody who listens to NHL radio, it is remarkable. Now, I know the network is based out of Toronto, but it is remarkable when you listen to it. You realize just how big the World Juniors are in Canada. And I don't even know why. I know they're being held in Minneapolis, which is as good a hockey, city and area as we have in this country. But I don't know if the World Juniors should ever be played in the States. Yep.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Final one of 2025. Pat Kirwan to join us in an hour. We have been and we will be talking plenty of football. But can we mention some of the other things that have popped up during the 2+ days that, we stepped aside for the holiday? We mentioned one of them last segment. This second round pick from a couple years ago. And I mean, he was the first pick of the second round in the NBA, and a kid who was actually been traded. He was in a major trade, the Karl Anthony Towns trade from the T-Wolves to the Knicks. Right? He played 2 years of pro ball overseas. Never played in the G League, never played in the NBA. Played 2 years overseas, and the NCAA said, yeah, he's still eligible to play college ball. Oh, really? Well, then how many years of eligibility does he have? Well, since he didn't play in the NBA or the G League, he's got all 4. Wait, what? Now, he's like what, the 6th guy in the last 2 months who has played professionally, who's been granted NCAA eligibility? Like, didn't Louisville sign a kid recently who played 2 years in the G League? So they said, well, we got to kind of hold that against you, so you only have 2 years of eligibility left. But, I mean, Mark, is this not bat blank crazy? What am I missing? I mean, I sound like Tom Izzo here, but, I mean, I'm all for a lot for these athletes who are, subsidizing multi-billion-dollar industries here in terms of college athletics. But how the hell can you play pro ball and still play college ball?
David, I don't get this at all. I saw this, I guess, yesterday, and someone had reposted what Mitt Winter put out. And Mitt Winter is an NIL lawyer.
Right.
College basketball or college guy. And his comment was, and I bring this up, David, because it's something that, well, he's an attorney. He's a smart guy. This is, and we're not. We've admitted that.
Right.
But every once in a while, we get some things right. And he says, serious question. What is the purpose of the NCAA now besides trying to stop athletes from being paid prize money, running some postseason tournaments, and serving as a pass-through for basketball tournament money? and I used, which is mostly your response, but it's ours, but I give you credit for it, is that they're event planners and not good ones at that.
I mean, how does that get out of the room? I don't care how many people, unless there's only one person in the room. Hey, if there's more than one person in the room and they go, I have an idea, who's been thinking about it. I mean, if you didn't play in the NBA or the G League, I mean, we talk all the time about the kids who declare for the draft and then aren't drafted, and we wish we could do something for them. Well, how about if we restore some of their college eligibility? And then somebody raises their hand and go, well, just answer me one question. Have they been paid to play professionally? Well, yeah, but, well, then how can we let them play college ball again? I mean, come on. You and I are all for paying these guys while they're playing college ball. All for it.
But there's got to be some guidelines.
Yes.
Look it. And I know this is a pro-amateur thing. But we used to have some simple rules when it came to Olympic sports and golf. And, even in golf now, I will say, because the lines are so blurred, and this isn't collegiate, but there are players who are former pros who have made millions of dollars who are getting their amateur status back in golf and playing in club pro member guest tournaments. Like, you've won a PGA event. Do you really need to win the Blue County Country Club member guest?
Right. I mean, do you need the Kentucky State Open trophy on your mantle if you've played 6 years on tour?
But David, this James Nagy guy here,
right?
He has a rookie card in the NBA.
Now, he didn't play in the league, but they made a card.
But they made a card. Do you know right?
He was traded, Mark. Mark, he was traded, for goodness sakes. How can he be playing for Baylor if he was in the Karl Anthony Towns trade? I mean, at some point, doesn't someone go, listen, I appreciate your thought, but this one can't pass the smell test.
I really, and we were lucky enough to have Izzo on a month ago. I really wish we had him on this week.
Oh, it's just the interview would either go 30 minutes or 13 seconds. Because he was asked about this right at the start of the season when all of a sudden some guy got
guys, right?
Yeah,
the guys were signing.
So here's apparently the deal now, according to the NCAA. A G League year is the equivalent of a college basketball season. So for those that have played a couple years in the G League, they're still eligible to play college ball. They've just lost a year of eligibility for every year they've played in the G League. If you've played overseas, that doesn't count. So, I mean,
Baylor signed a guy that was playing in the Spanish league.
Yeah.
Baylor's got this guy. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I mean, people are joking and saying, well, why play college ball at all? If you're really good, just declare yourself a pro, go get paid over in Europe for 2-3 years. And then if things aren't going well and you need another, I don't know, a year or two back in the States to draw your value back up, put yourself up for the highest bidder and play a year or two of college ball.
And look at this. Here's, to me, the biggest problem with all of this. There hasn't been, and we don't see, and David, stop me if you disagree with anything. Jump in at any point if you disagree with what I'm going to say. But we, and I mean Miller and Moulton, because we've talked about this a few times. Obviously, there's no one person running college sports. And David and I don't see in the foreseeable future that happening. Because the two most powerful people in college sports, one runs the SEC, one runs the Big Ten. Do you see Sankey or Petiti giving up power to the other, or the two of them giving up power to someone else to be in charge of collegiate athletics.
No way.
That's the first thing we need. We need one voice in charge of collegiate sports. We don't see that happening. You know, a commissioner. And then if we had someone in that position, and Miller and Moulton have only been talking about this for what, at least 2 years, probably 3. They need to be employees. Then you can collectively bargain. Then you can set rules up. Then stupid crap like this can't happen anymore.
But
This is mid-season adding to the team. You're kidding here, right?
well, but this, I feel the NCAA, that I don't think you need a commissioner for this. I think you just need the NCAA to get their head out of there. You know what? How in the world do they think that this is a good idea? I mean, come on, you got to draw the line somewhere. Think about it. The kid declares for the draft, is drafted, plays overseas professionally for 2 years. His draft rights are traded. He's in a transaction. And now he can play college ball, and he's lost no eligibility on top of it, because apparently he played the right kind of pro ball overseas, and we don't count that. Now, if you play in the G League, that we count. You're still eligible to go to college, mind you. You can go back down and play college ball. You lose a year for every year you played in the G League. Apparently, the only way you lose your college eligibility now is to play in the NBA. That apparently makes you ineligible to play college ball. But I'm waiting for the player who played only like a year in the NBA to raise his hand and go, I want to go back to college. I'm 27.
We all know, at least we believe, that last night was the last Christmas game that LeBron's going to play in. Still looking for him to sign with the Buckeyes to play next year.
Yeah. I mean, come on. This is bat blank crazy, isn't it?
And Miller and Moulton are all for these guys getting paid.
Yes.
We are. We would like them to do it a lot differently than what they're doing, but we have no issue with them getting paid.
Come on,
We've also said, the things like the portal that have a lot of you upset. We get it. If the schools wanted to give 3-year deals and they're locked to them, because they collectively bargained, they wouldn't be eligible to leave every year. These are fixable problems, and this one shouldn't even be on the same level as the rest of them.
By the way, little sidebar along the lines, have you been paying attention to the little Georgia dispute going on with one of their football players?
Right. Is this the kid that's at Missouri that transferred, and he transferred?
So this is the kid who says, I'm leaving Georgia and I'm going, and I guess it is Missouri. The school escaped me a few seconds ago. And Georgia said, well, you owe us money. I mean, we did this and we did this, and you didn't hold up your end of the bargain. And everybody was like, good for Georgia. Well, the kid's countersuing. And the kid's apparently threatening to blow up what's really going on. And I'm like, wait, I think it's already blown up. And apparently this kid and his attorney are like, oh, no, we're countersuing. And if Georgia really wants to go through with this, we will show and tell you how the sausage is made. Oh, okay. So I'm kind of curious where this goes.
I am as well. And then the other thing is the Ole Miss quarterback who played at Ferris State. He now wants another year of eligibility because he missed out on NIL.
Then you got the Oregon DB who was on the roster for the first-round playoff game and is now in the portal. The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com, CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
What do you got to run today? What are you doing here today?
I just have to do some promotion stuff and then switch a couple of programming things around. So I don't have a whole lot to do.
Gotcha. I downloaded the Christmas ones to have fun. Never used them. These overlays.
Oh, sweet.
I just want to mess with David. Christmas. But yeah, because I can't. I guess I could top of the hour log out of this, but yeah, I'll log you. I'll log you in and get you on StreamYard. Sign up because it's my password. That way, you should be in when you log out. You know, when you get up in the morning, or when you get here on Tuesday. Yeah, I laughed because I came in last Monday and I'm like, I'm used to the B people. No, they weren't here. They took the week off, and Gina did her show Monday.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow, you're here. I'm shocked.
Yeah, that is kind of shocking. But yeah, I didn't know she was going to be here or not today. But
she said she voice tracked the week.
Yeah.
Well, I
Hey, what though, Sonny? Jimmy Buckets
has not been a consistent player this year. He may be cruising, but I think age is beginning to show he can't bring it every night. Yeah, I wouldn't have gone with Goff against that defense, but
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Pat Kirwan in about 40 minutes time on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Hey, while we're at it, did you see Notre Dame signed a punter? The Australian rules football player?
Huh.
He's 21 years old, but apparently he's played the last couple years in the AFL. And that ain't the Arena Football League. It's the Australian Football League. And apparently
That's a
he's
different sport.
right, although it involves running and kicking a football.
Not the same ball.
So if you're the NCAA has given him a full 4-year of eligibility deal. You have any problem with that? He's played 2 years of Australian football.
If it was arena football, I might have a problem, David.
Right. I know. So he's 21 years old, played 2 years of Australian football.
Serious. Would a rugby player be eligible?
That's what I
mean.
That's why I brought it up.
It's not the same sport.
It's not, but
their referees wear much better outfits.
Put it this way, if this was a film, would it be in the same genre?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, he's got 4 years of eligibility while we're at it. That one, I think, at least is a gray area. But anyway, I know we got picks to make. Maybe we can do that next segment or what have you. Did you see the Brooks Koepka news?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Brooksy is done with Live.
Right.
It was a Friday news dump, basically. I mean,
yes, it was a few hours after our show on Tuesday.
Right. I mean, they got this sucker out right before Christmas, and all of a sudden, thank you, Brooks popped out on a couple of X posts. And David, what are they going to do on the PGA Tour? How long do they make him sit out?
Right.
And I know that they want to give these players serious penalties. I understand the PGA Tour's jealousy, and that's I'm using that word on purpose for the PGA Tour players' jealousy for certain players that were former tour players being selected to go make obscene amounts of money on the Live Tour. And now Brooks is done. He did his 3 years, and he's done. And now I guess he wants back on the PGA Tour. What should the PGA Tour do? I mean, they've got a couple of choices. They can keep him out for however long they want to keep him out before he's eligible. They could let him back in immediately. I guess that's really it, right? Keep him out for a length of time or let him back in immediately.
Right. And
If I were the PGA Tour, this would be like when he gets off the plane, it would be like arriving in Honolulu. I would have bands playing. I would have people putting necklaces on him. Whatever I have to do to have him playing on the tour immediately is what I would be doing.
Okay.
Immediately.
Well, the problem is that the people that run the PGA Tour, and Mark, one of those two people is Tiger Woods. I mean, let's not pull any punches here. If Tiger doesn't want something to happen, it doesn't happen.
Well, there you go. There you go. The 50-year-old that's never going to play in a tour event's running the tour now.
Because he really is.
Because he played golf and was very good at it, and taking nothing away from him, I don't know what type of an administrator he is, but he now runs the tour. What Tiger says goes.
The PGA Tour released a statement that said virtually nothing, except to say that he's a highly accomplished professional and we wish him and his family continued success. Now, normally we poke fun when somebody says they do something for family reasons, and Brooks, when he left the PGA Tour, did include family reasons as why he wanted to go play LIV, basically because he didn't want to contractually have to play as much. All right. I will say Brooks and Jenna.
When you marry an Instagram model, you need time.
Right. Now, Brooks and Jenna did recently have a miscarriage. Okay. So that's why I'm not going to poke any fun at the whole family reasons thing. Okay. Because I do think the family dynamic has changed in the last 3.5 years. But he did include family reasons in his reason for leaving LIV, basically not wanting to have to be so far away from home. Okay. So the PGA Tour did include that in their official statement, but that was all they said. They didn't say we welcome him back. We welcome him back with open arms. We look forward to the day when he resumes his career on the PGA Tour. They didn't say any of that. They did send out a release acknowledging that, well, he is a prominent golfer and we wish him well. That's all they said. And so now the question, because Tiger thinks you should have to pay. You left for the LIV, you need to pay. And those, by the way, Rory and others who were on the board who kind of want to now have an olive branch and or open arms for those that left to come back, yeah, they've all been forced off the board. Okay. Tiger and a couple other guys are like, hell no. Blank them. They left. Now, Miller and Moulton would look right at Tiger and go, Tiger, the reason the tour now looks today the way it does is because these guys got up and left 2, 3, 4 years ago, okay? So,
and look, I wouldn't even bother with that. I would look at Tiger and anyone else and say, Tiger, in fact, I'd look specifically at Eldrick here and say, you're not playing anymore, bud. You're not going to play anymore. You're old. Your body is falling apart. What you did for this tour, we can never repay you for. The growth of this game and the financial windfall that we have because of you is something that all of us combined can't ever thank you enough for. However, you're not playing anymore. This sport's not being watched the way that it was once watched. We need every great player on this tour. We're trying to change the schedule. We're trying to change the way people perceive our tour, and we're trying to get people to watch our tour. And the way you do that is with the best players and with name brands. And Tiger, you even agree with the name brands because you, like many of these players, are all for these signature events, which are just cash grabs for the best players on tour. Brooks is one of those guys. He's someone that people watch. And if we want to end live golf, We have to let these guys back on, because if they know they have to sit a year or if they have to pay, they may just stay over there, and that's going to divide the sport, and that's not good for the sport. So if we let them back and let them back now, it will encourage others to do the same when their contractual obligations are up on the Live Tour. If you want to end the Live Tour, you have to welcome these players back.
And Tiger's argument would be, we could welcome them back in 6 months or next year. But they need to pay a price for what they did. And we would argue, I certainly would, that Tiger, those guys leaving have now made the PGA Tour look the way it does today. You guys actually should be thanking them, because you couldn't get this tour to look this way when they were a part of it. It took them leaving to get this tour to look the way you guys, and by you guys, we mean the elite players in the sport, have wanted it to look. So I think that should be the poll question. Something along the lines of, do you welcome him back immediately? Does he serve a 3 to 6 month penalty? Or does he have to sit out the full year, which is what Tiger and others want him to have to do?
Pelican Roofing in Florida text line is open at 21,000. Would love to hear from you. Know there's a lot of golf fans out there. Hell, a lot of you probably on your way to the course right now for an early tee time. We'll make our picks next. Miller and Moulton. Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent you.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
I love the week after Christmas. The energy just feels right.
The rush is over. The new year is coming. Maybe it's time to treat yourself.
Jason and I are in the store every day, ready to make a deal with you.
Overstocks up to 50% off. Maybe you got Christmas money. Maybe not exactly what you hope for.
Or maybe a New Year proposal is in your heart.
New year, new you. Do it at the Diamond District. Hablamos Español.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
This is Miller and Moulton.
How do you want to word this, David? How should the PGA Tour handle Brooks Koepka? The return of Brooks Koepka?
Yeah.
God, I wish I could spell. Koepka I've got right. It's just everything. I have to.
Names is what names are fine.
Okay, I did spell that right. Excellent.
Yeah, I guess Zito and Justin Chase are tight.
So let him play immediately. Make him sit a year.
Do you want to offer something in between? A modest penalty? 3 months? But, I will say, if you leave it either or.
No, I think it's either or.
Okay.
And I only have 5 picks because we're not picking the. Are we picking the
Yeah, you could throw in. I want to throw in 2 of the playoff games, or bowls anyway. 2 of the bowls.
Well, I have bowls. But I don't have any games past Sunday, if you know what I mean.
Oh, okay. I've got 2. Because got to pick them now. If you want them to count on the record, it's up to you.
I'm going to have some fun with this.
Okay.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Pat Kirwan scheduled to join us then on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Final one of 2025. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. So did we turn that Brooks Koepka, who, if you missed it, in the last 3 days, left the LIV? And right now, what tour can he then play on? He hasn't been reinstated by the PGA Tour. He could play on the DP World Tour. Actually, he can't because they're now under the umbrella of the PGA Tour, and he doesn't have clearance to play in that either.
Which, by the way, if the PGA Tour does not give him clearance, and I know that they loosely run the DP World Tour, this is where if I was running the DP World Tour, I wouldn't care what the PGA said. I'd be like, you want to play here, Brooks? You're more than welcome. Every event, sponsors exemption. I'd take on the PGA Tour if I had to.
And remember, Koepka, before he made it on the PGA Tour, played on the European Tour.
Bingo.
So we're kind of wondering, what should the PGA Tour do? We talked about this hypothetically in the last couple of months. It's now come to fruition. Some of these guys' contracts are expiring. They may not want to renew with the LIV. The LIV may not want to renew them. Koepka's left the LIV. He's 35. He turns 36 in between the Masters and the PGA for whatever that's worth. Miller and Moulton would open the doors for Koepka immediately.
And not just because of Koepka. To me, and I don't know if you're with me on this, David, if you're going to try to get whomever when they're leaving that tour, DeChambeau, Rahm, whenever their time is up, you want them back. Well, to prevent them from re-signing before their deals are up, I would already have Koepka playing. I would be letting those players know by what I did with Brooks that I'm willing to let you come back. Bygones be bygones. I need you. I want to crush that tour. I want that tour over with. And the way to end that tour is to get the best players back on your tour.
So what options did we decide on?
Just two. Let him play immediately. Make him sit a year.
You know, somebody brought up an interesting, there's obviously the in-between, make them pay some penalty, but not a full year, 3 months, 6 months, what have you. Somebody, however, said, do you just say, sorry, man, you're banned for life? Is this Pete Rose and gambling? No, sorry, man, you're done. We'll never reinstate you. You gave up your privileges, and that's just what it is, and we're not going to extend them to you. Now, he's, got eligibility in all the majors for a few more years.
And he's got enough money where he doesn't need to play golf anymore.
No, he definitely doesn't. Right. But and Brooks never liked the regular tournaments anyhow. Brooks likes the majors. Right.
He used the other tournaments to warm up for the majors.
So it'd be interesting to see what, if anything, the PGA Tour does. It's our poll question. What would you do?
By the way, I know this has nothing to do with either tour, but that TGL is its own separate entity. And I know Tiger's one of the owners, so he'll kibosh this. But if I were one of the teams on the video game golf there that they have in West Palm, I'd put him on my team.
Well, especially since he lives only down the road, he could literally drive to every event.
Yeah, they all live down the road for the most.
Well,
but you're right. I would. I'd put him on my team, and I'd want my first match to be against Tiger's team. And I'd be kind of a jerk about it. I'd say, well, Tiger, how many of these you going to play in? Shut up and cash the checks, Tiger. It's kind of what I'd say at this point.
That we should have put on a T-shirt. All right, Miller and Moulton. Shut up and cash the checks.
All right, David. You're moving our pick segment around. You're producing on the fly.
Whoa.
This at a standard time. People listen to this show to go the other way with our picks, and we've thrown an Entertainment Tonight tease at them.
Yeah. Okay. You've got to wait one more segment to go the other way. Trust me, it's worth it. You're making a fortune if you're going the other way. It's worth it.
Off of back-to-back winning weeks, Miller and Moulton both had a winning week last week. David 5-3, taking his season record to 59-77.
Look at that. I'm no longer 20-plus games below 500. Wow.
No, you're only 18. And after my 6-1 week last week, I'm 48-50 on the season.
Whew.
I can see the Mendoza line.
Yes, you can.
Now, this puts us in a peculiar spot because we pick games that are played over the weekend. That does not include the college football playoff. That I do not have any of those games on my list because we're doing a show Monday. You're doing a show Tuesday. But we don't include Thursday games. We don't pick we don't allow those to be part of the play, if you will.
Listen, I've got a couple of bowl games that are not today or tomorrow or Sunday or Monday, but they are before the next football Friday. So I think we should be allowed to pick them. See, because I hate, what is it that we complain about all year? Well, we give you these picks for free and we don't get any credit for them. So, no, I want to put it on the line right now.
So here we are, last football Friday of 2025. And after 20 years, basically, you're changing the rules.
Now, hold on. They changed the schedule. They're not playing normally.
They changed between the start of the season and yesterday. They changed the schedule.
You know what I mean. It's not like these games are being played on Saturday. So we make our picks on Friday, and the games that we're picking are on Saturday or Sunday. All right? Come on. It's the bowl season.
I know. I've got Northwestern and CMU, Pitt and East Carolina, and BYU and Georgia Tech on my sheet.
Okay, so what are you complaining about?
Well, those games are all being played this weekend. I'm following.
All right.
It's
up to you. I've got 5 NFL games, and I got 2 bowl games in the middle of next week. Accept them, don't accept them. I don't really care. Can't believe of all the things to bust my chops.
You know what this is?
You're going to bust my chops about.
Sign your scorecard in the area where you sign the scorecard, David.
I thought people would like us putting kind of our money behind the important college football games.
All right. Well, then I've got to relook at this, so let it rip.
Well, no, you don't have to. You can do, and I'll tell you what, fine. I won't count them. Apparently, if this is this big a deal, I won't count them. 5 flipping NFL picks. Okay. I like both home teams tomorrow. I think the Chargers snap the Texans' winning streak, and I like Green Bay's backup quarterback more than Baltimore's. I'll take the Chargers, lay the 1.5. I'll take the Packers and lay the 4.5. Believe it or not, the game of the weekend in the NFL is in Vegas. Loser gets the first overall pick of the draft in all likelihood. Vegas is getting a 1.5. 2 good teams, I like to take the points. 2 awful teams, I like to take the points. Give me Vegas at home, getting a 1.5. I think they're playing a lot harder for Pete Carroll than the Giants are for Mike Kafka.
Is that just wishful thinking?
Well, I can't lose either way.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
But I am rooting against the Giants. Don't kid yourself. All right. Not because I want them to draft a quarterback. I'm fine with Dart. I just want them to be able to, trade it and get some picks. How in the world could Carolina be getting 7 points at home against anybody? I mean, how much more disrespect do we want to give the Carolina Panthers? They just beat the Rams their last home game. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was after they beat the Bucs in their last home game. I mean, give me Carolina getting 7 at home against Seattle. Even if Seattle wins, 7's a lot of points. And I don't know. I don't think the Eagles are going to have enough to play for, and I think the Bills still think they have a lot to play for. I'm going to take Buffalo and lay the 1.5 at home against the Eagles. I think they'll have cleared the snow by the time the game kicks off.
All right. You want to give your playoff games, or you can.
Oh, no. Apparently, it is changing the rules midstream. It is signing the scorecard outside of the designated area. Oh, no. Nope. These games cannot count on the official scorecard. Sorry, these would be mulligans, and they're not allowed.
No snark there. None whatsoever.
Oh, it's a lot more than snark. That was the double bird right back at you. Don't kid yourself.
All right, Eli. I do have some college games that are going to be played today and tomorrow.
Oh, they have a lot of meaning.
First off, as I've said, MAC teams, guys, transfer if they're any good. And they do from bad Big Ten teams too. But I'm going to lay the points with Northwestern against the Chippewas. Give me Northwestern laying 10.5. ECU, East Carolina, has lost both coordinators, and their quarterback is in the portal. They don't even know who's playing quarterback, whether it's like the 6th-year senior or whether it's a freshman. Pitt's laying 10.5 against East Carolina, who's lost everybody. Give me Pitt. And for whatever reason, I think BYU is going to care more about Pop-Tarts than Georgia Tech. Just a hunch. I'll take BYU and lay the 4.5. 2 pro games. I'm with David. I'm taking Green Bay laying the 4.5. I like Willis better than what's going on in Baltimore for a backup. In fact, I think Malik Willis is going to be an interesting off-season guy that teams may want, because we've listed all the teams that need quarterbacks, David, and there's not a lot in this.
Okay, very quickly. If Daniel Jones got 1 year, $14 million, what's your Malik Willis prediction for next year? I mean, if you're the Jets, if you're the Dolphins, and we could rattle off 6 teams who rent him for a year and see what you got, he'll want more than that. But, you know, you can sign him for 2 or 3 years, but basically only guarantee 1. What do you think he gets?
Well, I could you get more of a Jameis in that? Could you get him 2 years for 25? And I mean it.
Okay, I don't know if you get him for 25. Okay,
I think 2 for 30.
Maybe 35. I mean, because think about it. If you get him for 1 for 14, he's thinking he's going to go. He's going to play well. He's going to get a 3-year, $100 million deal. That's just my prediction. So you're willing to go like 2 for 30 for Malik Willis?
Yeah, I am.
All right. I like it.
Guarantee a decent amount of it. Guarantee
I like it.
of it, if you know what I mean.
I like it.
And I'm going to take the Steelers to clinch the division against Cleveland. Give me Pittsburgh -3 against the Browns. So those are my 5. I'd like to make more picks, but the games aren't until after.
It's not allowed. Signing your scorecard outside the designated zone. It's not allowed. So I guess we'll have to wait till Tuesday. Mark will have to tell me what his picks are, and I'll relay them to you on Tuesday.
Thank you, Tom Brokaw. Look at the angst of one David Moulton.
Okay, but
I'm telling you, the ham either cost too much or it wasn't prepared properly.
The ham was
one
terrific.
of the two things.
The ham was awesome.
Because a little behind the curtain, for those of you on Twitch and YouTube, you know this. David will enjoy a morning meal. He's not had anything to eat yet. I think during this break, before Pat Kirwan comes on, I'd like a little better attitude. I think you might need,
By the way, you came up yesterday because we went over the daughter and son-in-law's place, and so they prepared the meal, and it was a pot pie. And I'm like, I'll be damned. And they go, yeah, it's Costco. And I'm like, because I've been listening to you talk about, going to Costco for a couple of years. And I'm like, a pot pie from Costco? He goes, listen, they got this great chicken, and what they don't use for, the high-end stuff, they take the same chicken and they make pot pies out of it. So
they're big too. They're they're a pie.
And that's what he said.
Not the little one that you all remember as a kid.
No.
The individual size pot pie.
No.
You couldn't help but burn the roof of your mouth with when you had the pot pie, because that thing never cooled down. Never. Went in the oven for 45 minutes, burnt your mouth for an hour and a half.
At least. Right. No. He brought out this, tub, and he said, yeah. And I got 2 of them, by the way. One for today and one for the rest of the week. I'm like, I'll be damned. So thought of you while I was eating the Costco pot pie.
Did you bring some home on a Tupperware?
No.
Did they offer?
No. No, they're like Aikman. They're like Aikman with meatballs
right now.
Right. No, they're like Aikman with meatballs. So you don't take any of them home. He keeps the rest.
We're advising David to get a snack, and when we come back, Pat Kirwan to talk about what happened yesterday in the NFL and what's going to happen this weekend. That's next, Miller and Moulton. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
2025 Industry Appreciation Awards in Fort Myers have wrapped up, but the celebration of business excellence continues, hosted by the Lee County Economic Development Office, Horizon Council, and Horizon Foundation. This annual event honors the innovators, job creators, and community builders driving the region forward. Visit industryappreciationawards.com to see this year's winners and learn how local businesses are shaping a stronger, more resilient economy for Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Hello, Mark.
Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, my friend.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Listening to your conversation there, and I was laughing. It took changing the subject to food to get David to stop griping about picks.
Oh, yeah, he did not like that. He did not like that I took his picks off the board.
Good. I love it. He found out he's not the commissioner of this radio show.
So, speaking of which, I saw a player for South Carolina put out a post on X about this ECHL strike, that the union basically is not listening to the players, that he basically listed the last offer from the teams, and this player thought it was more than adequate. This is a guy that apparently has been in the league for, at least a little while. So I'll be curious what happens, because from the way this guy wrote his post, he'd walk across the picket lines today.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys would, because the end of the month they're going to be out on the street without a place to stay.
If they struck today, I would have moving trucks in front of their apartments, and I'd tell them to get out.
Yeah, there'd be a notice on their door.
And I've talked to former ECHL players. They agree with me. Talked to a buddy of mine who worked in hockey with me forever. He's like, they can go to the other rink, get 20 men's league guys. Start with them.
Yeah. Well, the NFL found out. Just put a uniform on someone they think they're Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
And David, I was getting ready after you were moaning and groaning about the picks and Mark pulling down. I was going to call you the real bad bunny. And then they switched the conversation to food, and you were very happy to talk about pot pies.
I was going to say I switched it. I wanted, you got to change the mood. Okay, but I knew Mark would love, A, he loves his Costco, and B, I know he loves a pot pie.
And that is a real pie. It's not a
it's a real pie.
Yeah.
It's huge. I've seen them there. I've never bought one. How'd everybody like the Stones, Pat?
Oh, God, we're halfway through them. They got in it was great. And my daughter loves them, and my son-in-law thinks they're the greatest. And one of the boys really liked them. So I left out a bunch of shrimp for those who only wanted that, which was fine. And then we just sat there and enjoyed ourselves, laughing like crazy. It was beautiful outside. We sat out on the night eating them, and it was
great.
terrific.
It's
I
been
know.
great.
So round two is my brother is coming back from Chicago. He said, absolutely, you are not finishing those before I get there. So he'll be over today sometime.
Yeah, we went through most of ours on Christmas Eve. I'll do the rest today.
Yep.
By the way, are the Blades still playing? Like
As of now, no, but we'll see what today brings. Today's the day.
Because they're scheduled to play what, Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
Yep. And all my hockey head grandkids are like pretty fired up about going. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I think a lot of players, first off, I don't even think, you guys tell me, to me, the Everblades are the outliers. They kind of like their deal.
Well, I was telling Pat, I don't know if a South Carolina player put a post up on X basically what the league offered, and he thinks the PHPA is a joke. This is a player in South Carolina.
Well, I know the league sent out a release that said, we offered them this, we offered them this, we offered them this. We can't do more.
No, and nor should they, and they won't have to. But how about the team that's supposed to be here to play? Aren't they from Indiana or something?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the third hour of Miller and Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
It's the final hour of the show in Live Oak, Lake City and surrounding areas, Port Charlotte, Venice and surrounding areas. We're just halfway home in Jacksonville, Tampa, St. Pete, and Fort Myers, Naples. We are Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. It's time for Pat Kirwan. He of NFL Radio's Moving the Chains and CBS's NFL Today show. Pat joining us once again, courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, over a dozen locations in between. Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. A belated Merry and an early happy to you, Pat. How are you?
I'm doing great, and all is well. I enjoyed listening to the two of you arguing about your picks and the rules. You sound like a commissioner, David. And then all of a sudden, you conveniently switched to chicken pot pies, and you were happy again. Well, and you actually let Mark have his way with this because I'm on Mark's side on this thing.
Well, it was kind of like an owner's meeting in which I decided instead of it ending badly, I'd bring out the drinks while we were still officially meeting.
Well, hopefully the ECHL will be doing that today.
I know you think that way. Pat, let me start with, I normally don't do this because people think I root for them. I really don't, but I pay attention. I want to start with the Lions and Dan Campbell because a lot of people over the course of the last, 12 or so hours have been really taking their shots at Dan Campbell and their record with Dan calling plays and their record without Ben Johnson. I know they've had a lot of injuries, but obviously they've got to retool on the fly because this window will close. And they have a lot of pieces that are pretty good, but the offensive line let them down. Goff didn't look as good. Ben Johnson not calling plays. Worked for a while. DC took over. It really didn't work that well the rest of the year, and a lot of people blame injuries. So when you look at the Lions heading into 2026, from the front office standpoint, what do they need to fix? And on the field, what do they need to fix?
Well, we did see the damage control that they couldn't control when they lost their coordinators. I thought they'd overcome it. They did not. So they need two coordinators in there. As I said the other day, I'd be waiting to see which head coaches get fired that have offensive backgrounds or defensive backgrounds for the other side. But it was clear that Dan couldn't handle being the head coach. He had his head down. Did you see one shot of Dan Campbell in the last few weeks where he wasn't face down staring at a call card with his glasses on? He was not being the head coach, and he's got to deal with that pension of trying to go for it on fourth down. So it's coordinators. So let's say Brian Dable, Kevin Stefanski, guys like that. Those are the kind of – and those guys would love a 2-year stay in a place with the talent they have on offense. And then on defense, I wouldn't mind a young, aggressive guy. Aaron Glenn wasn't a coordinator before he came, but he absolutely needs help in the leadership end of it and help running the offense so he can be the head coach. and there is enough talent to get right back in the race here. They stumbled and fell because they did it to themselves.
Pat, I'll throw a name out there for DC. I know you said you'd like a young, aggressive guy. How about Wink Martindale, though? He spent the last 2 years at Michigan. He's done a really good job. That staff's getting blown out. Okay. I think the Giants, it's been proven, made a mistake losing him a couple years ago. If you're Dan Campbell, I mean, he's already right there. He's coaching the University of Michigan. I mean, how about if Brian Daboll and Wink Martindale, what a dynamic that would be, are the coordinators in Detroit next year?
I'd be fine with that. I mean, Wink is a short shelf life, but we're not
Right.
talking about a long shelf life. He's good for 2 or 3 years, and then he wears himself out with whoever the boss is. But they need an impact guy. I would make sure that I was picking the guy under him. So the next time there's a transition, we all learned this from Belichick and Carroll. They always had the next guy ready to go. And these guys got caught without a guy ready to go. So, yeah, Wink's fine, figuring 2 years. And then I would have a guy right below him that's going to move into the spot right after him. But let's just see who gets fired in the next couple of weeks, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But I have no problem with Wink. But I don't think of Wink as a guy who's going to be long for the world with Dan or anybody else.
All right, Kansas City's obviously another team that we don't expect to be out of the playoffs for long. When you look at the Chiefs, I know the offensive line's been an issue with you all year long, but not just the offensive line. There's no guarantees that Patrick Mahomes is going to be ready week 1. Is Gardner Minshew the guy you want to run with? Do you have to go get aggressive for a backup quarterback because you may need someone for September? What would your Chiefs offseason plans be?
Yeah, well, pass rushers, that's on my top of my list. Getting a guy that's going to be a starter while we're waiting. You know, I know you guys are talking about Willis, and he might enjoy being there. I heard what you guys were talking about. To me, if Justin Fields got 2 for 40, Malik Willis is 2 for 38 or something, because he just hasn't played as much, but he's better than Justin Fields. So I think that'd be the deal. Would he go to Kansas City knowing damn well he'd go back to the bench? Probably not. So getting a guy who's a veteran that could come in and start, there's guys that will love that opportunity to show they can play. But there is no guarantee that Mahomes won't be ready. So it's a little tricky that way, but it's not a job for a kid out of college. It's a veteran's job, and we'd have to fish around. But some of the guys that are going to lose their jobs, I'm not interested in. Nobody from the Jets, nobody from the Cardinals, and we could figure out where else. But that's the kind of guy, and I don't know where it is. It's not going to be Mac Jones and giving away compensation to get him. You're not going to get him. So I don't know. I think you got to think about that one, Mark, but that is a priority for sure.
I would prioritize Joe Flacco if I could for Kansas City. I don't know if he'd do it. You know, I don't know if it's too far away from home. Okay,
No.
but
He likes this.
but I would prioritize Joe Flacco if I was Kansas City.
I like that idea.
And I might pay him a few bucks. Do you think, by the way, they're right back at it next year, or do we now look at the Chiefs roster and go, "Wow, here's a lot of holes here"? I mean, they're going to finish 6-11 for goodness sakes.
That's okay. They're just going to get nicer picks.
Okay.
Mahomes is coming back, and we just identified things that have to, it's not like it's a million things. I kind of like people in the secondary. I like the linebackers. I think the running backs are adequate. Would I add a rookie that might have third down receiving skills? Yes. But I don't think it's that far off. Now, we could argue that the division got away from them, and that would be the reason maybe it doesn't turn around. But I think it will turn around. But I love your Flacco idea, and Flacco would love that. He just wants to be on a good team that makes sense to him, that plays good football, and he's lived with the backup role, and he's fine with it. And he might figure, I'm going to go. If I go for a 1-year deal, he might make enough money, and that interests people to sign him again. If I'm Kansas City, though, I'm trying to sign him to a 2-year deal. And once you use the guarantee word in the second year, he'll do it.
All right. Well, Kansas City lost to Denver, and Denver did last night what they've done all damn year long. They take a bad team into the fourth quarter. They look like they might blow it, And then Bo Nix, typically with his legs, makes a play or two that wins them the football game. I don't know if it's sustainable when they're playing good team week after week in the postseason. But in the regular season, they're Kansas City from a year ago. They're winning all the close games. I think outside of the Indianapolis game that they lost earlier this year, they're like 8-1 now in one-score games. I don't know if you can replicate this in the postseason, but what they're doing in the regular season is good enough, Pat. And it looks like, if they can get by the Chargers next week, they'll be the 1 seed.
Yeah, and that means they're going to be at home. And that home field's the best home field advantage in the league right now. It always was with the Elway era. It still is when you go out there and watch what it's like to play. But your question's a different question. It's kind of, can they play Russian roulette with this fourth quarter stuff and go to the Super Bowl? I say no. And if they ever got there because home field was good enough to them, I don't think they could win the game. I just think that style doesn't get you. It didn't get Kansas City a Super Bowl, did it?
No.
As Cowher says, the deeper you go in, the more your warts surface. And I think that would happen to them.
Although they did get to it last year. Okay, they did get to it.
Well, there's a guy named Mahomes versus Knicks.
Well, that's true. There is just a bit of difference. All right. Got a couple minutes here. Before we go on to this weekend's game specifically, can we do the autopsy on the Ravens? Okay, because the assumption is they're going to lose tomorrow. They're going to be out. All right, even if we end up wrong. Remember, this was the team that many of us thought had the best roster in the league. We did your kind of Lions, what they need to do, Chiefs, what they need to do. Well, what do the Ravens need to do?
Well, there's a couple things with the Ravens. Like, you're stuck, and I say that with great respect for Lamar, but you're stuck with a style. And it's a unique style. And they really can't turn around and go in a different direction. They have a quarterback that's built on escaping and running and being an athlete. And as he gets older and more wounded with injuries, he's getting less and less effective at it. And his numbers right now would indicate that. This idea that they can find a second guy just because Hundley won a game, that guy hasn't won enough games for me to give the respect that he could be the transition player. So I think when you go down that road and you live the way they live, you are stuck with one style. And that's no different than Buffalo. If and when Josh Allen's done, where are they going? You think they're going to find the next wild man that can do that? So they don't have a traditional offense. That's a problem. They got some – if that quarterback wants more money, forget it. We're not talking about that until we get back on the winning ways. So that might be a little bit of a conflict in the offseason. I don't like their pass rush stuff. I talked to him like, what the heck happened? Why do you think you should let him go back to your brother? And he's playing great for the Chargers. So pass rushers are important to me. And then you got to look at some of the age of guys. And I like Ronnie Stanley, but he's a breakdown guy. He's another guy who breaks down. So they got issues. They're a little bit more like the Steelers in that they're older. And now you got to start thinking about turning over more than just a couple guys.
He's Pat Kirwan. NFL Radio Move of the Chains, which is weekdays 3 to 7, Saturdays 2 to 5 through the Super Bowl. And then on Sundays, he's with CBS and the NFL Today Show. Pat joining us, as do all our guests on the American Paint Supplies Hotline, your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. But Pat is brought to us courtesy of Pinchers. From Tampa to Key West and over a dozen locations in between, Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. There are some very sexy games this weekend. We will go through them next. Pat Kirwan with Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. This December, watch the nation's best high school basketball players compete in the City of Palms Classic. Fort Myers will once again welcome future college and NBA stars as they square off at Suncoast Arena from December 18th through the 23rd. Come see Southwest Florida's own Bishop Verreau versus Barron Collier on Sunday night, December 21st. For tournament information, please visit cityofpalmsclassic.com. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
So you got a full house, Pat?
Yeah. You know what I need? I need a plumber. You have a plumber, you know?
Not really.
Me
Let
either.
me make a couple. I'm playing golf today. Let me ask a couple of my buddies. They kind of work in construction a little bit more. They may have someone they trust, but I used to have a guy. I don't have anybody that I
Yeah,
know.
well, usually I just walk downstairs and the lady at the office will have one, but they're all off today.
Oh yeah.
Just I got a shower issue in the kids' shower room. It's stripped and it won't turn on because of those little round dial things.
Right.
I got to get someone to. Probably if I got another dial, it might work. So I might have to go in and look at it myself. But I was left a note about 11:30 last night.
I doubt if you need any simple tools, I probably have enough that I could drop off because I doubt you've got anything there. So just
Yeah,
holler.
I
if you
try to never have tools. I always try to live next door to a guy with tools.
There you go. Very smart.
Because you ever notice the guys with great tools, they always come over and want to use them themselves.
Exactly.
They do not want to have me touch their equipment.
Pat, we've got a Twitch listener who is dying to know what you think of Brian Flores and where he's going to be next year.
I like Brian Flores. I think he's really capable of being a better head coach second time around, like a lot of guys. But you never know with the political world he's in, with the league and everything else. Mm-hmm. It'd be a shame if he gets neglected, but someone who doesn't care about that stuff, who wants a head coach that's a leader, we could think of a couple places. I always thought they would hire him in New Orleans, but of course they're happy with their guy. They're playing pretty good, but their GM loves to annoy the league office with hiring in the guys they like.
Well, he did a good job in Miami.
He sure did.
It turns out he was right about the quarterback. I mean,
yeah. There's a place he should go. Let's admit you were wrong and just bring him back. They'd go crazy there.
The Giants are not an organization that would do this, but I actually think they need a Brian Flores. I think Absolutely. They really need a Brian Flores.
Yeah. Atlanta might need him too.
I was gonna suggest that, but that doesn't seem to be the type of guy that he hires.
Well, let's just leave it at this. Let's wait to see who he is that's doing the hiring.
Well, it's funny. They had a chance to hire Belichick.
We know how that got interrupted by.
Well, exactly. But
rules.
if you're going to hire Flores, you could hire Belichick again.
They won't go back on that one, but I can't say any more than I just said. You can figure it out sooner or later.
No, I know.
But Flores' name will be pretty close to the top.
Well, you know what I'll be curious about is if Pete can't survive. You know, Brady was with Flores in New England, and Brady's going to have a lot of say in this offseason with the Raiders. Trust me on that one.
Yeah, he had a lot to say last year.
Yeah. Oh, he's telling people he's going to have a lot more say this time around.
Good. Then you ought to stop doing television and stop doing it by phone. Try to put yourself in an office there and be there every day. Because when you don't do that, you really don't know what's going on. And I've seen it before. I worked for one guy that he couldn't wait to leave the building every week. He'd go to the game, he'd sit around the office Monday, and then he'd be off to, quote unquote, watch college players until the next game. I mean, it was great for me because I ended up getting advanced like crazy because he needed me to do all the stuff.
Yeah, we saw that just happen in hockey with an AGM in Buffalo there.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
Our remaining moments with Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio's Moving the Chain, CBS's NFL Today Show. Pat's weekly appearances brought to you courtesy of Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. So, Pat, let's start in state. Jags trying to win the division. If Houston loses Saturday, Jacksonville can win the South with a win over the Colts. But then again, if Houston loses to the Chargers, the Colts will know, well, hell, we can play our way into the playoffs just winning our last two games. So Jacksonville and Indianapolis, Colts could be out of it. Colts could be very much alive. Your thoughts?
I mean, I'm a big fan of what Rivers is doing, but I don't think I'd bet on him to win a game right now. I think it's tougher and tougher. He'll play nice, and we'll all be excited that the Senior Citizen Award goes to him, and maybe he's the comeback player of the year of all time. But I like Jacksonville in this one. I usually don't like them, but I do like them in this. I will throw out the old records between these teams, and just think Jacksonville is rounded into shape on both sides of the ball. And the quarterback is doing the one thing I begged him to do for years, run. So as long as he's going to go run, and as I said the other day when we talked, he had 4 first downs with his feet. That's all I need to see. And I know that Rivers can't give you any first downs with his feet. So give me Jacksonville in that game. Happy to watch it. Actually cheering for him. Jacksonville has 10 takeaways in their last 4 weeks and only 2 giveaways. So when you start taking the ball away that many times and the quarterback's playing the way he is, I think it's tough for the Colts to beat him.
All right. There's probably no team that's disrespected more than Carolina. They've beat a lot of good football teams this week. They're a full touchdown underdog at home against Seattle. They've only, Carolina's had their ups and downs. They've looked lousy, but they've played pretty damn good at home. What type of shot do you give them against Seattle?
Well, I think not much, personally. I like Seattle, well-rounded football team, offense and defense. I think the coach they're a good road team, 6-1. They've been a good road team since Mike got there, number 2. Number 3, I think when you study them, they know the moment they're in. As much as Carolina's trying to shock the world by winning the division, nobody picked them. Seattle has full intentions of winning this division, and they can't slip up at all. So just talking to Coach this week, he was excited about playing this game. He had some respect for them. He's not crazy enough to say something bad, but I think he knows this is a team that he can beat. And they're good up front now. When you studied them last week, they decided late in that game to go to a 4-man rush and play coverage behind it. And the 4-man rush was good enough. So I like Seattle a lot in this game. And I do think they'll get after Bryce Young pretty good.
All right. Is Tampa Bay got enough? I mean, they've lost what? 5 of 6, 6 of 7 here. They were 6-2. They're now 7-8, so they've lost 6 of 7. Can they beat Quinn Ewers and the Dolphins, or are the Bucks broken?
They are fairly broken, to say the least, and they'll be a division champ in my mind. They'll play good enough to beat Miami and Ewers. Ewers is only playing so we know why. So the other guy doesn't get hurt before they release him, and all of a sudden he's got a medical case where you can't release him. That's why Ewers is playing. And I don't even think they know if he's going to be the 3 next year. So I'm not betting on him. I am betting on Todd Bowles. I think the players love him, and they're in a case of save the coach's job. And that's why they'll play with emotion. You don't even have to say that about Baker Mayfield. We know how he plays. And he's got his receiver group. So they'll win the game, in my mind. And I worry about them. I don't think they're going to win a game in the playoffs. And they got to play Carolina next week. So that means nothing if they don't get this going. So I think they'll play well. At the end of it, you'll ask me the same question next week, and I think all 3 of us will agree they're going to get beat up in the playoffs because the 5 seed will be a much better football team than them.
All right. Well, the Eagles have clinched the division. They've got the Bills this week. The Bills still, I don't think they're thinking about the division, but maybe thinking about that 5 because we know the difference between being a 5 seed and a 6 seed. But Philadelphia could still be the 2. How much is there for Philadelphia to play for this week with the division already clinched?
Yeah. So to answer that, I thought I'd go backwards and look at last year. They were a 2 seed last year with 2 games to go. And Hurts was not 100% healthy. We all know that. He did not play the second to last game or the last game. And the last game, they rested a lot of guys. We're not up to the last game. How much risk do they take when you start weighing, do I really think it's worth more injuries? And they're trying to get Carter back, trying to be a 2 seed. I don't think it's worth it, personally, to sacrifice more injuries in order to get there. So I kind of like that they've returned to their formula, which is the quarterback runs, the running back runs, and when after that sets you up, then we throw to these 2 receivers, which they do. Buffalo at home, I don't think anyone should bet against those guys at home. They are a different football team when they're in their own building, and they're on a 4-game winning streak. I like to look at who you beat so far. And Buffalo, say what you want, they're 5-2 against teams that have made or will make the playoffs. So kind of like them in this game at home. If this was in Philadelphia, I'd like Philly. Home field matters up there in Buffalo.
All right, we'll get to Sunday Night Football in a moment, a biggie, Bears and Niners. But the number 1 pick in the draft game, Giants at Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
The thought is the Raiders are the worst team in the league, but Pat, the Giants are not playing for their interim coach at all. Your thoughts? Who wins the number 1 pick of the draft game?
Well, I think Jackson Dart's playing to be a great quarterback someday. And that's how he plays. He's reckless. We all get what his limitations are because he doesn't think about what he's doing. But he is a competitive guy. I talked to Coach Carroll about him this week. Really had a lot of things to say that's problematic for any defense, and their defense will have to deal with him. Meanwhile, Geno is really not playing very well, to say the least. And I think Jackson Dart alone is a reason they can win that game. And I know that the running back out there, Gentry, had a great week last week, but typically he's 3 yards in a cloud of dust on this. He has no offensive line in front of him. And Pete did want to talk about that pass rush of the Giants. Yeah, it doesn't show up every week. No one knows better than you, David, because you're a Giant fan. But he wanted, not too long ago, Pete was trying to get Brian Burns at the Seahawks. He really thought that was a piece they wanted, and they went after him. So I think the pass rush of the Giants and Jackson Dart will be the reason they win the game. And they don't need a quarterback. They already got their quarterback. I think the Raiders will get the first pick.
Bears and Niners. The Niners, quietly have put together a hell of a record while everybody said they couldn't because of injuries. Did they have an easier schedule than some teams? Sure, but they've beaten good teams as well. Pretty good matchup. How do you see it, Pat?
I think this is a hard game. And everyone's that calls our show, we got a lot of Bear fans. They're all, the upstart Bears and everything is a great story and all that stuff. I don't like betting against the 49ers at home. And last week, Did you guys see the game? I thought they played almost a perfect game. They were just like machine like that was like an old 49er. Everything was working. The run game was on target, and Purdy was fantastic.
I'd love to know the extent of the Kittle injury. I would like to know that.
Yeah, me too, because when he didn't play earlier in the year, the run game didn't look very good at 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But they're going into this game. McCaffrey's healthy. The quarterback is really on his game for the first time this year, in my mind. The 5 touchdown passes says it all. Yeah, I'm going to bet he plays, though, because they want to win this division. So whether he's 100% or not, Kittle's pain threshold is pretty impressive. He's played less than 100% many times before.
Pat Kirwan. You can listen to him weekdays on NFL Radio. Moving the Chains is the name of the show. The show airs 3 to 7. Also airs during the season from 2 to 5 on Saturday. Sunday, he's part of CBS's NFL Today show. Joining us once again, courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, over a dozen locations in between Pinchers where you can't fake fresh. Pat, enjoy your weekend.
Thank you very much. Have a great one, you guys. Watch some football, something new, something different.
We don't seem to get enough of it during the week, especially on Christmas Day.
I've had it with Thursday football. Come on.
So was Al Michaels. He sounded very enthusiastic last night. Miller and Moulton.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton. You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour on a Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Final one of 2025. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. I know you have, I think you said this earlier. I'm just then going to assume if you didn't. You have 2 TVs in your living room, and I'm assuming you just had the NFL on one and the NBA on the other yesterday.
That's correct.
Okay. Don't know which one got the volume, if either got the volume, or basically the Christmas conversation was the volume and the games were just on the screen.
That the early hoop games I had, the volume was on for basketball basically until my mom came over for dinner, and then I just turned the volume off for the rest of the night. I will say, I go down TikTok holes and bought this video game on TikTok that has all the old school games. So the daughter and I last night hooked it up, and there was some serious Frogger and Donkey Kong going on last night.
Okay.
And the daughter, it is funny because I'm a video game kid. Like, you didn't play video games, kid. I
didn't.
I used to go to the damn arcade and play them. Aladdin's Castle at Fashion Square Mall. That's where I'd spend hours. and the bowling alley, Crooked Creek Bowling Alley down the road from my house, even more time between the pinball machines and the video games. And so it's this retro thing. It's got like 2,000 games, and I'm finding the ones that both her mom and I played, and we're playing Frogger. And I was better at it than she was. And she's finally like, how do you know how to do this? You're good at this. And it really bothered her that the old man had some video skills.
Right. Because, she looks at you and she thinks you don't have game in anything.
In anything.
So now that you have game in something, that threw her for a loop. By the way, if I heard this correctly, did you say you went bowling as a kid at Crooked Creek?
Crooked Creek. That was the bowling alley. Crooked Creek Bowling Alley and Golf Course.
Now, I think that should have been foreshadowing where it is you were going to move to as an adult, because doesn't Crooked Creek sound like a gated community in Florida? That they try to come up with all these different names, but couldn't you see driving down the road and going, oh, yeah, it's that new development, Crooked Creek?
It does make sense. Yeah, off the Caloosahatchee somewhere.
Totally. Right.
Right, I'm with you.
Yeah, go down, make a left, and then about a mile down to the right-hand side, it's that new development, Crooked Creek. Okay, golf course, Nicholas design. Yeah, exactly. Right. Anyway, just struck me when you were saying I was bowling at Crooked Creek. I'm like, what do you mean? I thought you lived there. Anyway, boy, I did not have the volume on. I didn't. I had the closed captioning on, and I don't know if I heard 6 seconds of play-by-play yesterday until the night game, in which Al just sounded, Al has games where he's really into it, and Al has games where he sounds like he's not really into it. I just kind of got the sense last night was one of those games like, I should be back in LA having dinner. Why am I here? Boy, did Netflix get destroyed on social media yesterday. I don't know if you noticed anything. People didn't like the graphics. They didn't like some of the announcers, which is funny because the play-by-play guys were Ian and Noah Eagle, who are fairly well respected and fairly well liked. The analysts were Matt Ryan, Nate Burleson with Ian Eagle, and Drew Brees with Noah Eagle. But apparently, Mark, they did in-game interviews.
Right. That's what I did see get crushed. And I didn't listen to any of it. The only thing I listened to before, and I don't know what, I watched Snoop.
Well, he was the second game. Wasn't he halftime in Detroit? Wasn't that Vikings Lions?
In Minnesota.
Minnesota, sorry.
I watched Snoop. I'm like, ooh, Snoop's on. I went and grabbed the volume and turned it up. That's what I listened to of the entire Netflix broadcast. I caught some Snoop.
Now,
he was great, by the way.
I was going to say.
Everything about the Snoop halftime show was phenomenal. Opera singers, got it. Country singer, we can go that way too. What do you want? Snoop's got it. And in fact, how about I bring Martha Stewart on to announce who's coming on? No. Snoop won Christmas. Might as well call it Snoop Claus. Didn't mean to catch you there. I almost
going to say, no, I got a little tickle, and you made sure to exacerbate it there. So I guess during the first game, though, which was Dallas, Washington, they broke into a live game to interview Emmitt Smith and Clinton Portis. Obviously 2 former running backs for those respective teams. Whose idea was this? It's just you do that preseason. You do that on the Manning cast, right? That's like, so somebody had the idea, hey, why don't we bring the Manning cast into the real cast? Some people liked it. Most people did not. Wow. Angry. It's Christmas Day. I'm reading stuff like, I didn't think you'd get this angry on Christmas Day.
That's where I was, David, because I did not do a whole lot of social media, but at some point, for whatever reason, I opened up my phone and checked a few things. Woo. And people were destroying the Netflix games, but they didn't destroy them in a way where I'm like, I got to see what they're destroying. I didn't care. I told you going into Christmas that I didn't care about these games. And if Kansas City, Denver wouldn't have been competitive, I would have never listened to that either. But, at that point, the Lakers in Houston or the Kansas City, Denver volume, I ended up going with the volume of the football game.
People also said that Netflix had some technical issues, that sometimes the video and the audio weren't synced up. Now,
that's even someone's streaming problem too. I don't know.
Could have been. Well, but see, that to me, that's the only thing that would be important in this, because when they open up this TV deal, which they're going to before the decade is out, because we're supposed to be only like 2 years into an 11-year deal. But when they go to, when they add an 18th game, they have to open the CBA, and that's going to open the TV deal back up. And besides, the NFL's like, wait a minute, these networks are paying the same for the NBA that they're paying for the NFL. That can't be right. So they're going to open this sucker up. And when they do, the streaming services are going to be like, oh, so wait a minute. So we don't have to just accept these crumb packages, the Thursday night package and the Christmas package. And wait a minute. So we can bid for, the Sunday stuff and the Monday stuff? Oh, hell. We got more money than them. Let's go. And I think Goodell has shown and has even publicly said he don't care, man. When they put that Dolphins-Chiefs playoff game 2 years ago, when they put that sucker on Peacock, to me, that was the NFL, and 23 million people watched. The NFL looked at one another and said, ding, 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 ding. We can put these games to the highest bidder. It don't matter where.
No, and, this is where we are old, David, because from an advertising standpoint, and you and I both know this, and we've talked about this for years on our show. We know a lot of the places where our show airs. We know who our audience is. We think the advertising world neglects our audience. We do. We think you're the ones with money. We think you're the one, and it's why we have the sponsors we do. Go visit all of them. If you want to jump on board, there's room. I needed to get that in, David. But
I know you do.
But the fact of the matter is that the national advertisers don't care about you. They care about the 18 to 34 demo. They really don't even care as much about the 25-54 as they once did. It's that coveted 18-34 demo. Well, that demo doesn't give a damn where they watch the games, David. And they have these. They grew up with these streaming services. They're used to them. For us, David and I have joked many times on this show, can I just hit the previous channel button and get the other game on I was watching? Oh, no, I got to exit out.
Right.
I got to go to Amazon Prime. I got to go to Netflix. I got to go to Peacock,
Right.
whatever the hell it is. And it's not user-friendly. It isn't. I don't care who you are. It's not user-friendly.
Our joke is, can we have our 2008 cable back?
Yes.
Oh, damn. So that's why I wanted to bring that up. That first off, people were flat. Man, were they upset at Netflix yesterday? It's like, whoa, it's Christmas Day. Is your stocking empty? I mean, what's going on? Was there coal at the bottom of it? Man, you are angry. You can see and hear the game, right? Wow. And then I read about some technical issues and some stuff not syncing up, and that would get the NFL concerned. That'd be the only thing, because otherwise they in it for the money. It's a TV show, and they figure we can put our show anywhere. You'll find it. The rest of the leagues, they got to put it in a place where it's easy to find. Hell, we could put this stuff on Bravo, and you'd find it. I don't even know if that channel's still around.
I don't either. But I like you bringing it up.
Right.
By the way, in the last, 45, 50 minutes, there has been some rumblings out of the people who cover the University of Michigan. That they are now focused on Kyle Whittingham. Focused because they have not hired him. If you were to go on X and look, you would think it's a done deal. But it's about the 5th done deal that Michigan's had. Will they be able to complete this pass, David?
Well, I have to admit I'm confused. I thought he retired.
That's what I thought.
I didn't think he just retired from Utah. I thought that Kyle left because he's like, no, man, I'm in my mid-60s. I'm done. So why would he take any job, A, but B, I mean, if you're Michigan, is the situation that bad where you need a 2 to 3 year remedy? I mean, you can't look at Kyle Whittingham as the long-term answer, can you?
No, but it does scream we're done with what's happened and we're trying to bring a complete culture change in here.
Well, but okay, just humor me. You can't change the culture with a PJ Fleck. You can't, and I could go name 20 others, but you know what I'm getting at here. I mean, if Kyle Whittingham was still interested in coaching, which a year ago he made it seem as if he was questionable, and I thought he was pretty clear a few weeks ago when he stepped down that he retired.
David, that's what I thought. And I'm just telling you, we got Pat on. I noticed it right before we started an interview with Pat. I'm checking during the break, and now everybody's adding their 2 cents that I cover. I follow a lot of college football people. But yes, David, in fact, people have used the term bridge hire. Think about that. This is the University of Michigan. This is still a top 10 job in the country.
Right.
Bridge hire at Michigan. Wow. That's crazy to me. It really is.
It is to me too. I mean, my goodness. What do you need a bridge hire for? No, I'm serious. Help me out here. I mean, what do you need a bridge hire for? If you need to change the culture and to change, well, fine, fire the athletic director. Okay.
Which I think is going to happen when they bring in this outside investigation crew.
You already have an interim president, correct?
Yes.
I mean, just bring in a new coach. You can change the culture and bring it, you want to go in-house, out-house? I wonder, Mark, is this just a strategic PR stall? We're going to throw this name out there and kill 3 days because we're still waiting on Kalen DeBoer or whoever the hell it is they're going back to for the 4th time and really wanting to take the job.
Well, Pierogi there, Biff Poggi there, I mean, he did not help the University of Michigan with his comments.
Well, no, he said basically that it's a disaster.
And
It
for
had-
5 years, it's been a disaster.
Right, which is funny because for 3 of those years, they won the Big Ten and competed for the Natty and won it once. But apparently, he says this has been the biggest grease fire in college sports for the last 5 years. It sounds like, wouldn't he be the bridge hire?
Well, if he was being offered the job, it
Well-
certainly seems to me that, put it this way, I don't think Biff would be saying all the things he's saying if he had a shot at getting hired. I think he's saying the things he's saying because they've told him he's not getting the job. I could be wrong. It's just a guess.
Kyle Whittingham, Brian Kelly, who would you hire?
Brian Kelly.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
I love the week after Christmas. The energy just feels right.
The rush is over. The new year is coming. Maybe it's time to treat yourself.
Jason and I are in the store every day, ready to make a deal with you.
Overstocks up to 50% off. Maybe you got Christmas money. Maybe not exactly what you hope for.
Or maybe a New Year proposal is in your heart.
New year, new you. Do it at the Diamond District. Hablamos Español.
Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Football season is back, and celebrate your game day with Jimmy the Beef Guy. We're talking tender, juicy Chicago beef sandwiches. Whether your party's for 10, 100, or 200, bring game day to your house with Jimmy the Beef Guy. The catering packages come with the beef, the gravy, the peppers, the bread, everything you need. 2 convenient locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Skip the ordinary and bring the beef. Jimmy the Beef Guy, Chicago flavor, Southwest Florida style. Call today or visit jimmythebeefguy.com. Tell him Miller and Moulton sent you.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Well, first off, DC, most every fan only cares about winning. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys keep talking about, guys' records in the playoffs, coaches' records in the playoffs. So ask a Michigan fan, by the way, if they would trade the Natty away because they cheated, and they did cheat. Ask them. I've met a single Michigan fan who would trade the Natty away to get their integrity back. Not one.
No, in fact, they make excuses.
Correct.
Literally, I call them cheaters and best, and they just send me a picture of the Natty trophy. They
don't care.
They don't care.
Don't care at all. They beat Ohio State and they win the national championship. They don't care. Don't care. So, and you want to give them credit? Because Michigan deserves no credit for whoever this hire is. None.
I think so.
I mean, he's at his alma mater, so.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the fourth and final hour of Miller and Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
The last one of 2025. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Boy, we got so many games that are going to be done and over with before Sunday. I mean, 3 yesterday. They'll play 2 tomorrow. I mean, you throw in the Monday nighter. Hell, there's only 10 games being played on Sunday, right?
I think that's right.
Yeah. But we got 13 more games. You want to go through them?
Let's do it. Houston and the Chargers is the first one on the docket. I'm picking the Chargers. My love affair is back.
Oh, really?
Well, it happened. I mean,
hold on now.
I mean, the Chargers, I think it may have been a butt dial, but somehow I got a phone call around Christmas time, and I picked them last week, and they covered for me. So.
Well, but that's okay. No, you can pick a team, and you could even bet a team. That doesn't mean that you're back sleeping with the team. Okay. No. No. The Chargers were your mistress. Okay. The Chargers were your booty call. No. That's different from then admiring from afar. No. Are you back? Are you back in the mistress booty call lane?
Well, David, let's get this straight. I was not calling the Chargers on a late night booty call. They were calling me.
Yeah, but
I mean,
you always.
Well, no. I always answered, opened the door, and said yes. And whether they spent the night or not, it didn't matter to me.
Right.
I was just happy to see them.
Right. So
no. But when you said, I mean, I want people to understand, I had no hand in my relationship with the Chargers. They had all the hand.
Okay. So now I'm just wondering, where are we?
It was
you told the Chargers. You told the Chargers, don't call me anymore.
Well, they called last week and they covered. Now, I didn't take them to cover in my picks, but last week they helped me to a 6-1 record in getting 2 games below 500 against the number on the season. So
then that's it. That's all it takes.
They're really nice.
That's all it takes.
They've changed, David.
You're that easy?
Not with everyone, no.
Just
no,
her.
but with them.
Just her. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know.
If they'd wear the powder blues more. It'd be
well, forget it. I'd answer the door too. I'd answer it with the wife in the other room. I would just say, "Hey, I love you. You don't look as good as her. Sorry."
You took the Chargers as well, right?
Yes, I did. I picked them to cover also.
We both took Green Bay over Baltimore laying the point, so we'll both take them straight up. Tampa Bay and Miami.
Oh, boy.
They've got to win. They have got to win. I have to take the Bucks. I can't imagine that this will be a tough ticket.
No, I can't imagine either.
What do you think? And I'm checking right now. What do you think it's going to cost at this moment to get in the upper bowl for Dolphins and Bucks?
Okay, when they hosted the Saints a few weeks ago, wasn't that like $38 come game day?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing it'll be more than 38, but less than 50.
It's quite right now. Right now, the cheapest that you can get in is $95.
Wow.
I imagine that's going to go down pretty hard in the next 24, 48 hours.
I'm
I really
impressed.
do. I am too.
We're both taking the Bucks, but we're not confident.
No.
Right? Okay.
No. Patriots, Jets. New England's not going to screw this up.
By the way, to be a 13.5-point road favorite. Whew.
Pittsburgh and Cleveland. I took Pittsburgh and laid the 3. Are you with me?
No, because I think when Baltimore loses, the Steelers have nothing to play for.
Taking Cleveland?
And I am, because I also don't know if this is the last week that certain regulars play, but I think it's just going to change things, Mark. This will be my flyer. I took Tennessee over Kansas City last week. This will be my flyer. Let me take Cleveland.
For the record, I picked 2 back up on David with Monday night last week. I am down 3 with 2 weeks to play. Arizona at Cincinnati. I'm riding the Bengals. Give me Cincinnati straight up.
Yeah. In fact, I probably should have played that against the number.
New Orleans and Tennessee. Man, are the Saints driving me crazy. I had what I thought was a solid underbet on the Saints, and they are doing everything they can to screw this up.
And they're going to win Sunday and go to 6-10. And doesn't that make them over?
No, I think it was 6.5, Dave.
Oh, wow. I love the week 18s when the over-under for the season is on the line. I love those games. Give me New Orleans, by the way. The Shuck kid is playing decently. They've won 3 in a row. Give me New Orleans.
Yes, 6.5 on the Saints. I'm going to go with you. I'll take the Saints. Jacksonville at Indianapolis.
All right. I think it's going to get a lot harder for Jacksonville because I think the Chargers are going to beat Houston. And that means that Indy is going to be very much alive for a playoff spot. But I think Jacksonville wins. How in the world did the Colts defense give up what they gave up last week? My goodness, that's concerning. And the Jags are scoring over 25 against everybody. So that means Rivers and company got to get to 27-30. Jags tough against the run. Give me the Jags.
I like the Jags for a lot of reasons because, it depends here now. If we're right about the Chargers, the Jags, I think, can win the division. So I think there's a lot to play for the Jags. They still have a chance to even get to a 2 if that could happen. So I like the Jags in this. Seattle at Carolina. Seattle, we talked about it. They're a touchdown favorite. Carolina's been very, very good at home. Despite all that, I'm taking Seattle.
Well, I took the points with Carolina.
Right. Do you have enough cojones to take Carolina straight up?
Yeah, I do. I'll take them.
Giants and Raiders. I believe you took the Raiders and the 1.5. So Does that mean you're taking the Raiders outright?
I am.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants because I think they're going to screw up this number 1 overall pick for you.
Well, they did it a couple of years ago when they beat the Colts.
Philly at Buffalo.
Yeah, I like Buffalo.
I do too.
More to play for.
I do too. Chicago at San Francisco.
Yeah, everybody's making a big deal about the Bears. How many teams with winning records have they beaten and what have you? And there's no doubt there's a lot of Washington Commanders from last year in the Bears run this year. There really is, which started with Washington fumbling late and the Bears are covering and pulling a victory out of defeat. I like the Niners a lot. Mark, not only can the Niners be the 1 seed, you do know it's possible San Francisco never leaves home the rest of the year. Yeah. They host the Bears.
Right.
So if they beat the Bears, Mark, they play the Seahawks for what?
The division at home and home field throughout the playoffs.
Okay,
where's the Super Bowl this year, David?
Well, after they would play at home to get to the Super Bowl, Mark, they would look up and find out that the Super Bowl's it's Santa Clara.
I don't think they get to the Super Bowl. I don't. But I think they beat Chicago on Sunday night.
I'm with you.
And finally, Monday night, Rams in Atlanta. There's no reason for me to believe the Rams are going to lose against the Atlanta Falcons.
No. Whether they cover the 7.5, that I think we can debate. But no, I think it would be shocking at this point. In fact, there's a part of me that wonders, do the Rams lose another game? Period.
I like where your head's at with that. 3 different picks between Miller and Moulton. I've got 3 road teams, Pittsburgh, Seattle, and the Giants. David has the 3 home teams, Cleveland, Carolina, and the Raiders. David is up 3. I need all of them heading into week 18.
Well, you may have 3 road teams, but you do have the 3 favorites.
You're right.
Okay, I don't think you picked a dog in a game this week. I believe you picked all favorites this week.
That should work out well.
Not a single upset, I believe. So just, better hope it's one of those weeks, because it means I only picked 3 dogs. So it's not like I went crazy either.
Right, and if we would have picked yesterday, I don't know how many dogs I would have had.
Well, I would have gone 2-1 because I would have picked Dallas, Detroit, and Denver. I would have gone with the 3 Ds. All right. And they were all favored.
So there you have it. Our NFL picks straight up. David's up 3 on the season.
Stat of the holiday. Everybody's making a big deal. We spent the last couple weeks talking about just how wide open the playoffs are going to be because you're going to have young, unproven quarterbacks or young, unproven teams, blah, blah, blah. So, Mark, over the last 48 hours, the team that X decided to dump on was the New England Patriots. Because the stat of the week is the New England Patriots have beaten as many winning teams as the New York Giants. And the Giants are 2-13. Now, their wins are against the Eagles and Chargers. So, obviously, the most wins against winning teams the Giants can have is 2. And sure enough, here's the 12-3 Patriots, 10 games better in the standings than the Giants, and they have the same number of wins versus winning teams. So that, Mark, in the last 48 hours is the team that, everybody's now going, and they're probably going to win out, and they could be the 1 seed. But let me tell you, they're not that good. They're going to get beat early in the playoffs.
It is why, David, for the record, that when you and I bring up Jacksonville and have been bringing them up for a few weeks, and look, I thought they were cooked after the Houston game. I was obviously wrong. But when you look at what Jacksonville's done all season long, they've been really good against the really good teams in the league, with the exception of getting blown out by the Rams.
I think they have the most wins against winning teams of the group, Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. floormeisters.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Okay, yeah, Maddie was born in 14, right?
All right, couple of things in the chat room. I know Buffalo had no snow before today, and I know the guts of the storm is supposed to be just south of Buffalo, but I thought Buffalo was supposed to get something today. That doesn't mean it would affect the game on Sunday, but I thought they were supposed to get something in the storm today. You know, maybe not.
Paula, welcome back to Florida. I like how you have to walk in the morning before it gets hot out. That's fantastic. Because by hot, today the high is 75.
Now, they're supposed to get something this afternoon, but there's an 85% chance of a wintry mix on Sunday for the Bills, for what that's worth. Who was it? Was it Sunny? Sunny, it doesn't matter what Carolina does as long as the Bucks win. Now, if the Bucks lose, then you need Carolina to also lose. But because even if the Bucks win and Carolina loses, they're tied. The tiebreaker is week 18. And Tampa has to win. A tie would do them no good. So Paula, did you spend the walk playing GM of the Lions? Were you Brad Holmes going for your morning walk? By the way, defensive line, defensive secondary, offensive line. Those are your concerns during the offseason. Well, see, Paula, in a way, I could argue this is good because the Lions personnel on defense was not going to be good enough to get to and win a Super Bowl. So maybe if you made the playoffs and or won a game even, it would make the Lions continue to think that what they have is enough. I think this is good because now Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell can just address the matter. They need another pass rusher, and they need a new secondary.
Paula, why are you beside yourself?
How about the Lions?
Oh, I'm sorry. SOL.
And he doesn't mean shit out of luck.
Nope. No, I do not.
And someone asked before, as a Giants fan, yeah, I'm rooting for him to get the number 1 pick because then they can get more for it.
Yeah, I can't imagine Trent's doing very well, Larry. I've got to be honest with you. I think Trent's struggling. I know his dad's not doing well. I text with his dad often.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when. Some final thoughts. We've got 3 bowl games, so, I mean, that could be at least 3 picks right there. On Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Listen, Miller and Moulton, I think, and I'm not speaking about us in the third person. I'm just lumping us together. I think we have been relatively open with all of you over the years about our level of gooberness. You know, we each have the things that, well, we like a lot more than 98% of you. And you have the things that you're goobers about too. But there's a part of me, Mark, and I don't know if you feel this strongly, but considering that you spent, 15 years working in this league, I mean, aren't you fascinated by what's going to happen in the next 2 days in the ECHL?
Beyond fascinated. I was telling you, I think during a break, there was a player, for those that don't know, the ECHL, in which Tampa, I apologize. You're a big boy market.
Right.
But in our Jacksonville market, in our Fort Myers, Naples market, and for that matter, our Port Charlotte market, because there were Blades fans in Port Charlotte when I worked there. The Florida Everblades are here. You got the Jacksonville Icemen. And Huntsville, I think, has Southern Professional Hockey. But in a couple of our markets, the ECHL is a reasonably big deal. Certainly in Southwest Florida. They've been here for damn near 27 years now, I believe. And they're going on strike. This is a AA hockey league whose union thinks that striking's the right idea.
Isn't it today?
It begins today. They're on strike.
So does the strike start now, or does it start when the first games were scheduled tonight, which I believe were 7 Eastern? I mean, because they sent out the release on the 23rd saying they're going on strike on the 26th.
Correct.
Which obviously is today, and the business day has started. So I'm curious, are they technically on strike?
Yes. I guess from that standpoint, they would be, David.
Okay. Can you help me out? There are a bunch of games scheduled in the ECHL today, but there's a ton of games that are scheduled tomorrow. But for the games that are scheduled today, didn't teams have to travel to those games?
Well, I didn't realize, David, I didn't realize that there were actually games tonight. That's on me.
Okay.
Because typically they get a holiday break.
All right. Maybe I'm
but
wrong.
Yes.
Maybe
there's a boatload of games tonight.
Right. So wouldn't those teams have had to travel at least yesterday, if not Christmas Eve, to be in the cities to get ready to play on the 26th? So you traveled and you got a whole bunch of guys sitting in hotel rooms that are being paid for by the team/league, and now you're on strike?
Well, here's what this is so hockey. one of the things that really honked off Miller and Moulton a while back was when the NHL was on strike or it was a lockout or whatever the hell it was. And while it was covered by the media, one of the media outlets that did not cover it at all
was
the NHL network.
Right. This was the NHL work stoppage that was not covered by the NHL network.
And David, as I am on ECHL.com,
you're getting nothing, aren't you?
There's not a mention of a work stoppage.
So everything about this fascinates us. We're curious. I believe Orlando and Jacksonville are scheduled to play tonight in Jacksonville, aren't they?
That's correct.
Right. Now, granted, it's a 2-hour bus ride or 2.5 for Orlando, but still, I mean, maybe they're still home and they're waiting for the okay, and then they're going to get on the bus and go to Jacksonville. But
not all of these games are, to me, drivable.
Well, right. I mean, so that part of it fascinates us. Secondly, is a AA league? I mean, Mark, you and I have been doing this a while. Has a AA professional league ever gone on strike? I mean, AA baseball's never.
No, and I, you know, and of course they did, but the NHLPA put out their release that they are totally backing the Professional Hockey Players Association, which I'm not surprised by.
Oh.
And so are like the AFL-CIO and a couple other big, of course they are.
Yeah, unions support unions. We got it.
Right. I don't even know anybody anymore that's in a union. You know, I mean, unions want, you know, when I was a kid, David, unions were a really big deal in this country.
Right. No, they're
for both of us. Where you lived, they were with team, you know, where I lived in the auto worker area, it was a big deal.
I think it's 7% of the U.S. workforce now is unionized. I think it's something that low.
But I was texting with a couple of former players and someone that I worked with, because I worked in the ECHL for a long time, not just with the Everblades. I worked in Nashville in the league. I worked in Raleigh in the league, and then I made my way to Southwest Florida. So I spent a lot of time in the league. And hold those years very near and dear to my heart. I had a lot of fun. This is ridiculous.
Right.
I'd grab men's league guys before I would fall to what they're striking about.
Well, all right. This is nothing, quote unquote, official. This is the, you know, X site called ECHL Stats. And they have said no official statements from the league or the players this morning. Okay. There's been nothing announced as to the status of the games tonight.
The PHPA, this is the union that represents these players, have not put anything out on X since the 24th.
Right. But according to this ECHL Stats handle, local reporting in some markets and Ticketmaster is showing that games have been postponed. And then they ask, is no news good news, or is there a strike in effect?
I will say, you got to give it up to the PHPA and their timing of this.
Oh, there's no doubt. We talked about that on the 23rd, that this is a monster for the league and its teams. And you know, Mark, because you sold tickets for a living. The games in between Christmas and New Year's, when everybody does what? Goes home. Those arenas are packed.
Kids aren't in school. I mean, these are big draws from Fort Myers to Toledo and every damn where in between. These are big draws.
And the Blades have 5 games scheduled over the next 8 days,
of which they'll average a minimum of 6,500 fans in a 7,000-seat arena.
Right.
I'm telling you right now,
throw in
if
parking
they don't
revenue,
them all out.
Right. Throw in parking revenue, ticket revenue, the whole deal. I mean, it's, you know, they got 36 home games 5 of them. I mean, that's nearly 15% of their home schedule. And they got it in the next
moving back. I would be, because part of their deal to play in this league is your housing is paid for by the team. The salary cap, I believe, is like $17,000 now a week for 20 players. So they're making, $800 a week plus free housing, utility. Everything's paid for in their apartment.
So Orlando and Jacksonville are scheduled to begin. I believe it's just a 2-game series tonight and tomorrow. Tonight, obviously, in Jacksonville. The Blades are scheduled to play, and aren't they playing like Fort Wayne? So, I mean, shouldn't the team, at the very least, wouldn't they be traveling today? Because they're playing a 3-game series Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Reading is who's coming to town.
Reading.
I'm just saying,
they got to be traveling this morning, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so if you're doing some reporting on this, don't you? So have they headed to the airport or not? Are they going? What's the deal? And for that matter, if you're the Blades, do you tell Reading, hey, whatever team you can get your hands on, you better be here because we're playing?
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape. Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
David?
Yeah.
A little reminder for Tuesday. You're going to have to take yourself off screen and put yourself back on screen during the breaks.
So Roger can't do that?
Well, it's just one more thing I got to teach.
Right. Okay, that's good. That's fine. Take myself
And
off.
then you have to also email you hit that, how to send the thing to guests, right?
Well, I did it once before, but I'll probably have to have a refresher course from you.
It's really easy. On the bottom, David, do you see where it's got the little guy and the plus?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Press that. See how it says invite guests to the show or whatever?
Right.
Then you just hit Gmail. Your Gmail will pop up, maybe my Gmail for that matter, and then you just send the emails to those people that are the guests. So you got 3 choices there. I don't know if you
Yeah,
have it.
but I hit Gmail and now it's.
It should open your Gmail. Has it done that or no?
It just did.
Then you
Yeah.
just send it to whoever you're sending it to.
Right. So I
You
type
can
in-
call me at 5:30. I will be up.
Well,
no, I will. I mean, my first
Okay.
appointment's at 7, so I'll be up.
okay. Yeah, Sonny, Ruben Bain ain't getting to the Lions. Come on now. Come on, folks. By the way, Paula, that's the most negative I've ever seen you go on anything.
Oh, they are down on MCDC right now. They're angry with their head coach.
Which is interesting. How come you're not giving some of the grief to the GM? And isn't he responsible for the interior of the offensive line and the back 6 on the defense? He's the one that signed Marcus Davenport to be the other pass rusher opposite Hutchinson.
Back end got hurt. I mean, everybody got hurt in the back end again. That's what is it just dumb luck, or are there strength and conditioning coaches that better prepare teams than others? Because this is 2 years in a row in which Detroit's been decimated by injuries. Is that just bad luck? Or
Paula, they have to address the defensive line. Number one. Seriously, number one.
Over there on those breaks with like the promos and stuff.
you may hear a second or two carryover when you come back, because these actually start about 2 seconds, or you know what I mean, like so there's no pause.
But normally it's pretty much within a few seconds.
Sonny, I don't think he falls to the Lions either.
I think he's a top 10 guy, and the Lions aren't in the top 10. What I'm seeing is he's a top 10.
I mean, I don't know if he falls to the Dolphins. He was a tight end. Paula, Dan Campbell was a tight end.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour till we're done for the week. Final Football Friday of 2025. Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. We'll have live shows Monday and Tuesday of next week. It'll be the same as this week. We were live Monday, Tuesday, Friday. Next week, live Monday, Tuesday, Friday. So there.
I will not be here on Tuesday. I'll tell you what, I'm going to set between Roger, who's been in this morning, checking everything out to make sure he knows what he's doing. And he's a veteran of this building and this board and all those things. And obviously you've done the show for, we've done the show this way now for 5-6 years with how we set up. I'm going to put the over-under on calls/text to me at 2.5.
Oh, under. Oh, wait. Texts? We're counting texts?
If they're of the technological nature. If they're just a text about but between you and Raj, I'm setting the over-under on calls/text, because I don't think when 6 o'clock comes, you're going to be calling me. That's why, hey, how do I do this? And you can call. I mean, until 7, I'm available. But after that, I'm busy. So I'm putting it at 2.5. And you say under.
I say under because I'm going to question the out of you on Monday. Okay, I'm going to have a cheat sheet of stuff. So basically, I think all communication to you on Tuesday is going to come from Raj.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
We go way back today, David. Way back. This was, by all accounts, a tough ticket. Went for far more on StubHub than Bucks and Dolphins. 1606 is when we start. Shakespeare's King Lear, first known performance before the court of King James I. Big ticket. 1908, Jack Johnson stops champion Tommy Burns in the 14th to become the first black man to win the heavyweight world title. It was stopped by police, by the way. The police stopped the bout in the 14th. I don't know if in 1908 what the referee did in the fight, but the referee didn't stop the fight. The police stopped the fight.
Wow. Imagine how social media would have reacted to that.
Exactly. 1919, the Yankees and Red Sox reach an agreement to send pitcher Babe Ruth to New York.
No, all to finance a Broadway play.
FDR, today in 41, signs a bill officially establishing the fourth Thursday in November as Thanksgiving. The day after Christmas. I mean, really? 1946, the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas opens. That would kind of start a new era, and that era would be the Mafia.
Because that hotel was opened by Bugsy Siegel.
Yes, it was. 1960, at Franklin Field in Philadelphia, the Eagles beat the Packers 17-13 for the NFL championship. It was the lone defeat for Lombardi before the Packers would establish their dynasty.
Yeah, his only playoff loss.
Right.
So all the other years, if he made the playoffs with the Packers, they won the title.
Today in 63, the Beatles released I Want to Hold Your Hand, and I Saw Her Standing There in the United States.
And then like 2 months later, they decided to tour the U.S.
It would work out pretty well for the Fab Four.
You know what?
Apparently these songs went over very well here.
I think people followed that model going forward. Release it and then do a PR thing behind it.
Today in 66, backstage at the Uppercut Club in London, Hendrix wrote this little ditty called Purple Haze. He said it was not about drugs, or he lied. 1968, Zeppelin begins their first U.S. tour in Denver. They're the opening act for Vanilla Fudge. George Harrison becomes the first Beatle to top the Hot 100 as a solo artist today in 1970 when My Sweet Lord hits #1. The Exorcist premiered today in 1973. First horror film to be nominated for Best Picture. Couple of championship games today. One, I don't know how much you care about, but this one people cared about. The AFC Championship at the Oakland Coliseum. The Raiders would beat the Steelers 24-7. And in Minnesota, the Vikings would beat the Rams. And just by telling you who the two winners are, you're well aware of who won the Super Bowl. Chuck Noll retired today in 1991. 29 years ago today, Joan Benet Ramsey was found dead at her home at the age of 6. And 2 years ago today, after the Pistons lost to the Brooklyn Nets, they would set an NBA season record with their 27th straight defeat. And right now, they've got the best damn record in the East. That's a hell of a turnaround.
Yep, remarkable.
It really is.
Remarkable. And for what it's worth, because a lot of people now think the Knicks are the team to beat in the East, Detroit played them really tough in a first-round playoff series last year, in which, quite frankly, if the Pistons knew how to close out last year, they would have won that series.
Steve Allen and Phil Spector would have celebrated birthdays today. Carlton Fisk is 78. Chris Chambliss is 77. I like the fact that those two guys, a year apart, born on the same day, because, obviously Fisk, a better player, but those are guys we remember from that era quite well.
Well, and it's so funny a year apart because Fisk hits the famous home run in the 75 World Series. Chambliss hit the home run in the ninth inning of the 76 LCS to win the pennant for the Yankees. So they both had their most famous moments a year apart.
Ozzie Smith is 71. He was almost a guest once on Miller and Moulton. In fact, he was scheduled to be a guest. We did the interview. We taped the interview.
Yep.
We didn't run the interview because it was that bad.
See,
the greatest defensive shortstop to ever play the damn game.
Yes.
And he was promoting some sort of cooking stuff.
Right.
Pizza, I think. Homemade pizza or some crap.
And the joke is, to us, and you all as listeners know, Miller and Moulton, one, we're decent interviewers, but two, we're great when we get a guest because they're marketing something. Because the first thing we do is ask them about what they're marketing. It makes them happy. It makes their PR people happy. And then we go cover the stuff that you want to listen to. So we're doing that with Ozzie Smith. He's riding in a car on his cell phone and whatever it was, and Mark, you remember it better than me. And so we go, hey, thanks for joining us. Okay, you're joining us to talk about so-and-so, so tell us about it.
And he does. And then we ask another question that had nothing to do with that. And he goes back and talks about the food thing.
Right.
We try a third question.
Right.
He goes back and talks about the food thing.
Right.
At that point, we're about 6-7 minutes into the interview. Yes, I just went 6-7, and I apologize to everybody.
6-7.
But at that point, David and I were in the same studio. We kind of look at one another. We look at our producer, and we're all like, F this.
Because before the third question, we say, Ozzie, listen, we know that you're here to talk about such and such, and we just talked about it, but obviously you're a Hall of Fame player. We'd love to, in the remaining moments we have, talk a little baseball, blah, blah, blah. So we try a baseball question. He goes back to the cooking.
And we ended the interview. Fortunately, back in the day, we used to run a lot of liners during the show. That would be, hey, this is Ozzie Smith, and you're listening to Miller and Moulton on whatever station we were on.
Right.
So we had him cut that before the interview.
Right.
The liner ran for a year and a half. The interview never saw the time.
Never did.
Happy birthday, Ozzie. He's 71 today.
This is Ozzie Smith, and you're listening to Miller and Moulton. Okay, and every time we heard it, we laughed.
Lars Ulrich from Metallica's 62, Tim Legler's 59, and Jared Leto's 54. What did I miss, David?
I had it today. The first Kwanzaa was today in 66. I had something. I know it. Oh, The Exorcist opened today in 73. Did you have that?
73. Yeah, it was the first horror film to be nominated for Best Picture.
Harry Truman died today in 72. So he lived 20 years.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
Oh, let's see. Where the hell's the good? Man, oh man, when the computer wants to go bad on you, it goes bad. All right, we go to Indiana for the good, where a young Indiana boy is being hailed a hero. His friend, they were at an indoor place. His friend jumped in the pool, couldn't swim. And the young boy pulled his friend to the surface and saved his best friend's life. The boys were honored at the school's character awards ceremony. For the bad, we go to StubHub, where StubHub had to apologize to its customers after a concert was advertised as a Christian event. It was a band called Lamb of God. The problem is Lamb of God's a metal act. So StubHub had to, apologize for listing the concert as such. Finally, the ugly. Man, I'm telling you, it's tough being an Amazon driver. You sure you want that gig driving an Amazon thing when this show falls apart? Because Amazon driver, she had her son with her in the car. And she ended up going to the wrong home in North Carolina. And when she got to the home and knocked on the door, Sydney Pittman told them they were at the wrong house. So they went in their car and got out. And Sydney apparently wasn't happy about them coming to the wrong house, so he pulled out his shotgun and fired at the Amazon car. He was charged with discharging a weapon into an occupied property and injury to personal property, and probably should just be punched a few times in the nose for good measure. That, David, is the good, the bad, and the ugly. On today, December the 26th, and it's brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department, hiring new officers, great pay, overtime opportunities available, plus other jobs. For all information, where can they go?
CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. So no NHL tonight. The NHL takes 3 full days off around Christmas Eve, Christmas, and the day after.
And no ECHL hockey tonight either, as of now.
Although the sports director in Charleston, South Carolina, says the game is still scheduled there for tonight. We'll see. NBA, Heat in Atlanta, Orlando hosting Charlotte. Tell you what, I like Orlando tonight, laying only 5.5 at home against the Hornets. Just saying. Amazon doubleheader, Sixers at Bulls, Clippers at Blazers. Not 1, not 2, but 3 bowl games today on the 4-letter network. 1 o'clock, 4:30, 8 o'clock. The game above Sports Bowl, Mark. Who do you like? Central Michigan, Northwestern?
Well, if you heard earlier, I took Northwestern and laid the points against the Chippewas. Home game for the Chips. It's in Michigan. This is the Detroit Bowl.
But half the team's not playing, right?
That's the way I look at it.
New Mexico and Minnesota. Minnesota 1.5-point favorite. New Mexico trying for a 10-win season. And then FIU UTSA tonight in the First Responder Bowl. UTSA a 5.5-point favorite.
I know it'll backfire. I love Pitt tomorrow against East Carolina. Both coordinators are gone. Their quarterback's in the portal. They're either playing a 6th-year senior who's hardly ever played or a freshman. I love Pitt. It'll probably backfire, but I love Pitt laying 10.5 tomorrow.
No NFL tonight. 3 games yesterday, 2 tomorrow, 10 on Sunday, 1 on Monday, but nothing tonight. What is wrong with that league? I mean, honestly, learn how to schedule games. Just kidding. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, be well. Back at it Monday, Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The 2025 Industry Appreciation Awards in Fort Myers have wrapped up, but the celebration of business excellence continues, hosted by the Lee County Economic Development Office, Horizon Council, and Horizon Foundation, this annual event honors the innovators, job creators, and community builders driving the region forward. Visit industryappreciationawards.com to see this year's winners and learn how local businesses are shaping a stronger, more resilient economy for Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
I love the week after Christmas. The energy just feels right.
The rush is over. The new year is coming. Maybe it's time to treat yourself.
Jason and I are in the store every day, ready to make a deal with you.
Overstocks up to 50% off. Maybe you got Christmas money. Maybe not exactly what you hoped for.
Or maybe a New Year proposal is in your heart.
New year, new you. Do it at the Diamond District. Hablamos Español.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Done. We didn't even do a promo this morning, David.
No, we didn't. Got a few things going on.
All right, I'm ready when you are.
Coming up Monday on Miller and Moulton.
We'll look back at a big weekend in the National Football League.
It's the last Overreaction Monday of the year.
And it's 6 a.m. Miller and Moulton.
Raj, have a good weekend.
David just said have a good weekend.
Oh, thank you, David. You too.
Same for you, Mark.
Thanks, David. I'll try.
So it looks like you have to hit end stream twice. So say you
Oh, yeah.
You want to end the stream.